What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Nerding Out podcast, where we go over one anime, one game, and a pondering topic of some sort. So, without further ado, let's get into the intro video.
I need
will
to
be
do
here.
something with my
All
hair
right.
before I turn the camera on.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Nerding Out podcast. So, introductions. We got someone coming in late, the usual late guy, 7 Ninja. He's probably researching one of the games we got for our game. But today we're going over the Super Cube anime, which is a Chinese anime. Pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. And then we're going over Oblivion, the remastered one, the new one that's coming out. And we're gonna go over wokeness in media as the pondering topic. So, but before we get into all that, we gotta do the introductions. So I am SquallRush, gamer, podcaster, anime enthusiast, kinda, sorta, maybe, if you want to call me that. I'll take it, or I won't take it if you don't want to or not. But that's neither here or there. I got the Linktree /SquallRush. It's usually in my bio or my description. So check that out if you want to follow my other platforms, because I'm on a shit ton of them. If there's not one I'm a part of and you tell me about it, I probably will make an account and see what comes out about it. Other than that, I don't really have any new announcements. There's no real videos I'm working on. Oh, I did just record a new Dragon Ball Z DBZ sessions video, so I gotta edit it and all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. It was one that we went over in the podcast. It's like, who would be the next God of Destruction? Who would be best fitted to be the next God of Destruction? Is one us three debated about. So it'd be cool. It'd be cool if you guys watched that. I think the answer would probably shock you guys. And then other than that, I don't really have. Oh, intro question. Least favorite color. I'm gonna have to go with green.
Fuck you. You're only saying that because you know it's my favorite color.
Is that really?
That is my favorite color.
Oh shit. Whoops. Sorry, not sorry. All right, go ahead, honey.
What's up, everybody? I'm SquallRush's big brother. No, I'm playing. I'm anime fan, semi-gamer, and you can find me on TikTok at Hunter on Tick. I'm that friend that needs to come with a warning label. I'm that guy. Let's see, least favorite color. I think I'm gonna go with white.
Racist.
Do white. No. Why is everything gotta be political these days?
I'm just fucking with you.
That's the guy with the mostly white shirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I mean,
it's
I kind of wanted
Kakashi.
to say pink, but sometimes pink looks really cool. I'm lagging a little bit. I'm gonna get out and come back in.
I guess it's time for me. Brockstrap55, here's my Rumble page here if you want to check it out. I do a lot of Pokemon content. My lives can be pretty much anything, depending on whether my internet's decent or not that day. But yeah, come check us out. I'm mostly working on Soul Link videos that Squall and I have done on his live channel, so make sure to go check those. Small form out if you only have about 30 minutes at a time. So Least favorite color. You know, brown's pretty ugly. Like just as like it's good for cabinet and stuff, but like just like the color itself, I don't know. It doesn't seem to have that pop that like green or red or like any of the other colors kind of are out there, right? It's just kind of, I don't know.
It's the color poop.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I like certain types of greens, like teal-ish green. Like, but for the most part, green just kind of reminds me of boogers. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the anime segment, guys. Oh, special shout out to the new viewer, Valentino. Welcome in, and Charm City for always being here. What's up, Charm City? Charm. All right. Anime segment starts now. That's what Charm City said. Oh shit, congrats to Brockstrap for winning the QA Insider monthly giveaway earlier. Let's go. What I'm talking about, boy. Anyways, so this anime we are going to be talking about is, so turn down the music a little bit. You guys can hear us. Alright, music is turned down. So the anime we're going to be talking about is the Super Cube. Let me pull up some Super Cube. Pull up some reference. Super Cub, what the fudge? Here we go.
Super Cub.
Super Cub. Girls riding on mopeds.
So you guys don't know what it is. I have no idea. I didn't watch it. Looks like this. It's about a boy who gets a cube, or he's basically a regular boy who has a crush on a girl. Not familiar with Super Cube? It's a pretty sick anime. It's about a boy who's like a normal boy who has a crush on this girl right here. And the girl has a crush on him back. But like a gang has the gang leader has like a super crush on this chick. And once he finds wind of her crush on him, like him and his crew beat him up, and basically they're like, yo, like either cut things off with her so the gang leader can get at her, or we're gonna kill you right now. And he's like, nah, fuck that, and like headbutts him. And then like after headbutting the guy who's like holding him by the collar, like they're leaning him over like this bridge or something like that, like not that high of a bridge, but there's water under it. Headbutts him, lets him go, and he falls into the water. And once he gets in the water, there's this super cube that gives him supernatural powers, superhuman powers. And like it's kind of like solo leveling, I want to say, where in solo leveling he can level up and increase his stats. And this is similar to that, where he doesn't really level up, but he can increase his stats by getting certain gems or stones or whatever. And then he basically just beats up a bunch of people. And like so far it's on episode 8. There's like higher and higher gangs that like get involved, and basically one of them like tries to like steal his girl in order to draw out this other crazy super strong being, because like he was lied to. And then now this main character goes on this mission to go save this girl. And that's pretty much the premise of it so far. And episode 7 is kind of a crazy twist, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll get into that part later. Let's see. First initial thoughts. Rockstrap, we'll start with you first since you went last. What do you think?
It's funny.
Of the anime?
It's funny that you say solo leveling, because that's kind of the feel that I got at first. Solo was kind of through a weird a portal they went through, right? And then he kind of met whatever that godly icon figure was, and that's how he got his powers through there. Where this one, he just found kind of a mystical item. But yeah, the leveling up system is pretty similar. I had to laugh actually at that snake fight because I'm pretty sure like early on in solo leveling 2 he fought some kind of like basilisk creature in the subway or something. I'm like, oh man, this is almost a 1-for-1. And it also kind of reminds me of, if you ever watched it, it was called Kenichi, the World's Mightiest Disciple, where he was kind of weak at the beginning and then it kind of progressed. It's different, whereas he's leveling through a system type deal on Supercube, and then on Kenichi, he actually got taught by martial arts masters and became stronger that way. But the gang fighting and taking on gangs seem to be kind of similar to that as well. But yeah, no, I really liked it. Definitely one that I'll keep watching. It's always interesting to watch the Chinese animes versus the Japanese. I see little tiny differences in there. And whenever I hear that Mandarin, I get a little thrown off from the normal Japanese speaking. It's not enough because I still don't understand either language, but they're different enough for me to notice there's a difference. So, but yeah, no, definitely I would watch it. Or I'm gonna keep watching it as it comes out. Is the season over already, or are we just up to date right now?
Nah, we're up to date.
I think we're just up to
It's
date.
still ongoing.
Okay,
Alright.
yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to watching some more.
Seven Ninja. Introductions.
Okay.
Intro questions. Least favorite color.
Let's see. I think I got it. All right. Anyway, I'm 7Ninja7. You can find me at Game Jolt, Mew, and Rumble. My announcements. It's going to be. For now, we're going to be doing a lot of more anime review content. Outside of that, I think I'll start doing some stuff on Helldivers and Dark Tide soon. Regardless, stream is going to be stopping for a little while, but that will change soon. Regardless, my least favorite color has to be. I'm gonna have to go with brown. When I think about like brown, it just doesn't really fit with anything that I try to make, so it has to be brown.
You and Brockstrap are two peas in a pod.
Must be.
What's funny is as soon as Brockstrap said brown, I was like, fuck, that is my least favorite color.
Alright,
No,
so we're on.
it's like a good standalone for like wood and stuff, but like outside of that, I
Really
don't know.
popular in the 70s.
Like I can't think of brown going with anything else really. Like black goes with a lot of stuff, but
Actually, brown
Anyway.
goes awesome with baby blue for some reason.
I can see that.
I give ice cream now when you say that,
What'd you say?
Chocolate.
like some kind of chocolate ice cream. I'm thinking of a bunny for some reason.
Bunnies. Oh,
Oh,
brown
some-
bunnies. I can
a
see
lot of
brown bunnies.
A lot of rabbits are brown.
No, a rabbit
Shit,
like ice cream. Rabbit ice
Oh.
cream. I think it's like blue.
The blue bunny.
Oh yeah, blue bunny.
There you go. I think they had like a chocolate ice cream or something, and so that's probably why I'm thinking of that. But we were talking about Supercube, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be real with you. Like outside of the fighting, I didn't really enjoy it that much. I kind of wanted to explore like what the cube's gonna be different than like Sun Jinwoo's leveling system. And all we got was this: if you like get like these two crystals, they'll give you power, which was a pretty big amp in itself. But then like we didn't see anything past that until it was like let's merge like 10 crystals all together, and then you'll have like this really big boost. I will say I did like the main character a bit when he's like fighting, because he's not afraid to use anything and everything to beat you. Like, I'm gonna hit you with a hammer, I'm gonna beat you with a chair, I'm gonna hit you with any possible thing in my area. This is not a fight in a match. This is a street fight. I'm about to do whatever it takes. And you know, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed even during the gang fights where he's like, he beats the first gang, and then he's like, I'm extremely tired. Now, he got to be extremely tired, but you know what? I'm glad he turned the lights off, made it black out, and started working them like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
You did?
Because it's, yeah, that, Yeah, that idea of him thinking on his feet, not just throwing hands, because he's fighting a group of people, and he is in this form of way. It felt kind of like realistic because it was like, okay, how am I going to deal with a group of people when I don't have any superpowers or anything, and the only thing I've got is basically maybe some enhanced strength and some enhanced agility. And so I thought it was kind of cool that he was thinking outside of the box from the average anime. So for that, I'll give him that. I think that part is pretty good. I think for me, although I understand what the story is kind of trying to be now, I would say that it took me to episode 8. I think no, not 8. When he fights that guy with the white hair, and we see like the very end where that girl gets stabbed in the back, and is his name Zinjin? The guy we see in the very beginning.
I don't know anyone's name in this whole show.
Shigu Kin or something like that. Like Shigu Kin.
Anyway, we know that there's a main character, and then we got that other guy. He's supposed to be really powerful, and everyone's scared of him. Like once he shows up, like I thought, like okay, the anime could have ended with him and her just meeting each other on the top of the tower, and that would have been fine. Okay, it's like maybe 7 episodes. He just went through a tower of power, you know, and I was like, oh, you know what, I can deal with that because it's just like he went through a tower of power. He had to fight. He had to do a lot of stuff to get here, and he had to. I'm still trying to figure out where he learned the hands. His hands are immaculate for someone who should not know how to fight. But you know, whatever.
No, it's explained. The cube explains it.
The cube it teaches him how to fight from the power increase that he gets from the gym.
Yeah, because it increases it. It increases it like through his DNA. It basically reprograms his DNA.
I got you. Yeah, all right. I can take that. But outside of that, I felt like the story in itself is lacking overall. I understand what the story is, but I feel like it took us getting to the top of the tower to actually officially see what the story is about. And to me, it's like I kind of feel like I would have preferred learning what this main story is going to be about early on. Because again, I'm thinking back even early on, we learned about the guy from the very end of the tower. In the very beginning, I'm like, this is not the main character, but he seems very important. Why are we not focused on him at all? And we're still kind of not. And we're focusing on this other guy, which I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to see what the story is supposed to be early on.
Talking about the Mohawk guy?
No. He's got a brown coat. Like he's got blue eyes. No.
Remember in the first episode, the dude who was like whooping everybody?
In the end, he was flying in the air carrying that girl.
Huh?
I clicked on that link that you sent me to start watching it, and I was like halfway through it when I was like, I feel like I'm missing key parts. And then I realized when I went to the next episode, this is episode 3, I skipped the whole first episode. So,
okay. So episode 7, remember when the chick dies? Maybe. And then like the other dude comes out of nowhere and like takes her away or whatever. Like you can't even save yourself.
Wait, he comes in and takes her away?
Yeah. He may not be there. He may not have seen that.
Did you finish episode 7? You didn't see what happened after that?
And then the credits rolled. Oh, the credits rolled. What do you mean what happened after that? The credits rolled and it was.
It might be episode 8.
I had to get on here.
No, that's episode 7, bro. 8. That episode took me for a loop, bro.
It's episode 8.
Wait, episode
Is
8.
It like after the credits or something?
I was pretty.
It's probably episode 8.
See that guy back. I'm like, man, this guy's a G right at the beginning of the series, right? And I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. And then like it goes to the high school guy, and I'm like, what happened to the other guy? And he comes back. I'm like, all right, so it's kind of tied in together a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I do want to point out, though. There's nothing saying this guy is evil. So there's nothing saying this girl won't just show up again out of nowhere. And so it's like, what is the story about? Yes, I understand he wants to find out what happened to his girlfriend, but what is the story about if this guy just ends up letting her come back home? Like, what's happening there?
Well, okay, so at the very beginning when he's fighting the older gentleman, right, is fighting the other 4 guys, like, she came back anyway, back to sleeping at the desk or whatever with the. Did he reset time somehow at that earlier episode? And is this what's going to happen again? Is he going to reset time and bring her back and be fine again, or like, because she was allowed to come back already, so there's nothing saying that the same thing won't happen again. That way either, right? It's not like he got her.
It seems to like she might have some amnesia towards it.
The questions. Let me give my opinion.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Stole it from me.
I had actually thought you went ahead of me, believe it or not. So,
so first and foremost, the theme song of it, 10 out of 10. My favorite anime theme song so far.
Damn, I skipped that.
The show, I'm gonna give it like, I'm gonna give it a good 8.5 out of 10, because there was definitely like the animation's awesome, the pacing, I like it. I love the main character. I mean, for once we have a main character in an anime that's ambitious and ready to go and ready to improve and ready to fight. We haven't seen that in a long time. Everybody's been bitches lately, and it's really aggravating. It actually almost makes me.
You've been watching.
You know what? Not even almost. It makes me actually appreciate Goku more. The more I see these fucking pussies in these other animes, it aggravates me to my core. But I'm lagging. Let me turn my video off.
You're fine.
Anyway,
all right.
So the story, I kind of have the same problem with the story as Ninja. It's like, what is like the main story? And to me, it kind of feels like they didn't really have a story when they started writing it. They just were like, okay, let's just write what we think would happen if a normal guy found a cube, and in this setting that gives him these powers with these rules and whatever. And so then they just kind of started going with it. There was a few things about like the fighting that I thought was really dumb, and definitely the gangs. I was really I didn't like it at all. Like I've been in prison for 3 years. I've dealt with gangs in real life, and these gangs are not moving like gangs. Like even I've never dealt with Japanese gangs, or well, this is Chinese gangs, but this is not like gang type movements and behavior and shit like that. So I mean, that was kind of a turn off for me. They didn't do enough research with that. Also with the fighting, the first big fight that I see him in was after school in the basketball gymnasium. And one thing that I thought was really stupid was when the cube identified, most of these guys power level of like 5. You're at a power level of 20. Immediately, my first thought is he's got this in the bag. Even if you stack up all these guys, you're not supposed to do that shit anyway, because each individual one of them is 5. So all you have to do is divide and conquer. You already got them immensely on speed and strength. So every time they start to crowd you, you single one out, push him out of the circle, and fuck him up, and then move on to the next one. What I loved about that fight was how exhausted he got so quickly, because that shit definitely happens. Every time I got jumped in prison, I had to do exactly what I just said. You got to single one out, you got to push him out, get a couple good licks in, and hurry up and turn the fuck around, because you about to get crowded again. And it is fucking exhausting trying to fight multiple people at once. You will get very tired very quickly, and there ain't no bell ringing to give you a little 1 minute break with a sip of water and a word from your coach. So I liked that. I thought using his energy while he's already exhausted to teleport to a fucking light switch in a gymnasium full of windows at dusk was atrociously stupid, in my opinion. I did not see any point in that at all. I think he should have just saved that energy and kept fighting, or at least like went on the defensive and kept dodging for a little while to catch a breather. And then the other thing about that fight that I hated was at the end of it, he was like, all right, I'm going to let you say you beat me up and that you're done and blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, like fucking take your cake, man. Like you did all this work, you know, take your trophy.
You didn't want to get kicked out of college?
Ah, whatever, dude. He's a fucking superhero. What does he need college for?
What does anybody need college
Honestly, at that point, I was wondering, like, because you just talked about like him teleporting on the light switch. He could have teleported out of there. What purpose does he have to stay in?
Right. That's what I thought he was gonna do. And then he just hits a light switch and he's like, "Oh, I'm Batman." Like, bro, like, get the fuck out of there. You already made your point, you know. But the other thing,
I'm certainly not gonna save that dude either. Go. My bad.
One of the things that I didn't like, Brockstrap brought it up earlier, the giant snake in the cave. It's just it seems to me either lazy writing or just quick writing. They're like hurrying up and putting it out because this Super Cube and him are both have these sensory type abilities, and this snake is just sneaking up on him and like really, really close calls more than once, you know. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you? Even a regular human would have heard this massive fucking snake in this extremely quiet cave. There's no sounds. They're underground, you know, completely sealed in all directions.
The echo.
Right, all of that. Like, there's no fucking way you didn't hear that shit, bro. Like, this
It was
snake
for comedic effects.
Yeah,
that's
what
I get what you're saying, but they were going for comedy there.
I know, but
It's like, oh, the snake almost
but it's
got
not
him.
a comedy show either. Like,
I think it
So?
is.
The hissing would have been so loud.
but
The hissing would have been so loud.
By the way,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I mean, you do silly stuff for silly reasons when you're trying to be silly.
Yeah. Now I did enjoy the way the cube works and like how he levels up and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. I like the way that the cube explained everything. For the most part, most of it makes sense. Like his abilities, what he's able to do, and how he got them, according to the way the cube explained it. Everything really made sense to me. I wasn't left wondering, you know, how is he able to do this according to blah blah blah. So I thought that was well explained. And to add on to Ninja's question earlier, give like my idea of what is going to happen with the story after what we saw. I think that at this point, it could certainly, one way it could certainly go is that she is dead and he's just going to be on a path of vengeance. He's just going to start mowing down all these fucking gangsters. Which I feel like it's probably going to go that way because when I'm watching it, it seems like they enjoyed animating the action, especially when he fought that Orochimaru looking dude. So yeah,
I feel like all
sure
there.
be a show like that.
What's his whole
Personally,
motivation right now?
Her, like all he wants.
Exactly.
To do is
So
her.
if his motivation is gone, he wants to get stronger to protect. So if he's, I mean, I guess the vengeance way would go also, but like,
I mean,
are you thinking like,
go on a path
are
of
you thinking
vengeance
like
if
Punisher
someone killed your wife?
kind of thing going here, or like, what are we talking about?
I mean, I don't think he would necessarily become like evil or anything like Punisher or Batman, but I certainly like. I know if a fucking gang killed my girlfriend, that there's not gonna be that gang anymore. I don't give a
No, I
fuck
get that.
what y'all think. You know,
The
I'll take out the whole. It don't matter. Bloods, Crips, MS-13s, Yakuza, y'all can all get it, son. Don't fuck with my people.
I think I mean, I guess I could see that too, but I feel like she's such like so many people seem to have her as their, I want to say goal, kind of, in one sense. I mean, a goal can be different toward any one person, But she's the goal for a lot of these people, and even the crazy guy from the very beginning, right? So I don't see her leaving the show in any fashion, but
I feel like we all know that he's gonna have to get a rematch with that little wolf chick. I mean, she's just obsessed with him right now. She's gonna be coming after him when she wakes up.
All right. My initial thoughts. Unless you still got more, Hunter, go ahead.
I don't really think I have any else to say. So, but overall, like I said, a strong 8 out of 5, and I do recommend it if you don't mind reading subtitles.
Yeah, same. I'm hovering around the same like rating out of 10, like 8.5. Like I do have to agree with Seven Ninja. Like the story, like the story was like kind of weird. It's just basically about like an SIMP. I don't want to say it because I'm on Twitch. Like he's like head over heels over some chick, and the story is basically about him wanting to be strong and protect and get this girl and over like protect her from like gangs and stuff. And then I get like a strong like Attack on Titan pacing to like the story. Like it's like because like at first I thought it was just gonna be about him like protecting this girl like from behind the scenes, and it's just that's it. But then like episode 7, I think you guys say episode 8. I'm pretty sure it's episode 7, but that doesn't really matter. What episode it is? Like that episode took me for a loop, you know? Like, boom, shot, she's dead. Like, whoa, what the fuck? She's actually dead. Like, takes the hand off her back, just blood dripping down his hand. Like, what the fuck? She actually got shot? I thought it was him that got shot. And then like the dude from episode 1 takes her out and just like, you know nothing about the superhuman world. I shouldn't. I caused this, so I'm gonna fix it. I shouldn't. Like, and then just disappears, bro. And like all this glitching going on with the screen. Like, bro, there's like a whole other side to this story we don't even know yet. It's like it threw me for a whole fucking loop, bro. So like it completely got my attention after that. Like prior to that, story was like mid. And then like the fighting kept me in, especially like when he fought that the long-haired dude with the puppet.
That fight was crazy. That fight was
amazing, bro.
I loved
like,
it.
I had to go back and rewatch a couple parts because of how awesome it was.
The choreography
like the part
was
yes, that was so sick. And then the part where like he was like punching him back like a yo-yo or something. That shit made me crack up like crazy, bro.
I felt like it was the Naruto versus Pain tier when it got to like the weird squiggly animation, only without the weird squiggly part, right?
Yeah.
Like you had that whole like Pain's face was all like demorphed or whatever. We didn't get that here. It was all awesomeness without the weirdness.
Oh damn, bro! That fight was fire, bro. Like it was like most of the fighting was pretty good up until that point, but that one just took it to a whole different level. So like I was like, okay, like you know, I'll deal with this mid-ass story for this type of shit, you know. And then like once like episode 7 or 8 happened, and like it just like took the story to a whole different direction. And I was like, oh shit, you know, I'm actually invested. I'm actually hooked. Like I need to know what happened to that girl now. You know, like, is she alive? Is she dead? I feel like she's alive because like I watched the next episode and he's like, I gotta find her. Like I gotta get my girlfriend back. Like I gotta find like him and like all this stuff. So I feel like she's alive. Like up to this point, like, and then you brought up another good point, like the whole like Brockstrap, the whole like he rewinded time probably and brought her back to the same moment in the library when they were kids. And like I feel like you might be spot on with that because I do remember like when the main character was like, "You want to help me do my homework?" and then she was like, "Sure," and then they like went away or whatever. There was like a watch on the table as like they walked away, and it was like,
right,
like what's the significance of the watch? Like now it kind of makes sense when you bring that up. It has something to do with time, probably, you know.
I mean, feels like his girlfriend has some kind of superpower.
She's
Potentially.
important for some reason. I don't know what the reason
I
is.
think because of that little date when she was hiding the candy in her hand, she was just like instantly on this guy. Like she kept calling him out on things, and it just it gave me the vibe that she knows, like she's kind of acting ignorant to superpowers and stuff. Like she does know things, you know.
Kotal,
Wasn't
turn your
really
mic up a
getting
little
that
bit.
sense.
What's up, Ninja?
Turn your mic up a little bit or bring it closer.
Can I do that?
Either one. Either
Oh,
one.
can you do that? I don't know how to turn. my mic
I
up.
you
I mean, I
gotta
can
go
turn him
into
up.
like. Yeah, I've turned you up to like a lot already. I can't turn
You
you up
sound
for
lower than
everybody. It's just for
yesterday,
me. It just turns you up for me, not for everybody. When I turn you up.
Voice and video settings.
Yeah. Let's see.
Output volume.
Yeah. No. Input volume. Raise that up.
Already at 200.
Shit.
Okay, raise the other one. Raise the other one up.
It's
See what
already
happens.
at 100. It was at 100.
Okay, bring the mic closer to your face.
It's touching my lips.
Okay.
All right, good. There we go. There we go. Just don't look it.
I'm just gonna hold it inside my mouth from now on. That's all.
Yeah, that worked. I think
Yeah, sorry
you were talking
for
Kotos.
cut you off. Yeah, Squall. Sorry about that. One thing that you made me remember during that fight with Orochimaru, he put a bunch of paper bombs on his arm, and then he like weighed it down, and he was like, "Now your arm weighs 3.5 trillion pounds or some shit." And I'm looking at this, and I'm going, and the building is holding him up, like
Right.
what? Like just little things like that aggravate me.
You know what? There are some I don't think this should work, but there is some things I've seen where it's like something flimsy is able to hold it up because of like tension or something, and it's just like it. I don't think that could have worked.
Even if
But,
you
like-
were to make the argue that he was holding up that weight with his strength, that weight just gets transferred to his feet anyway. That weight is still there on the
Yeah.
building.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So can he beat Goku or nah?
absolutely not.
Nah, not yet. Not
He
yet.
can't
I'm
blow up
gonna
a
say he
planet.
can beat Goku.
3.5 trillion on one arm, and he's punching with that
Mhm.
3.5 trillion.
First of all, he was getting his ass kicked by a guy who's proficient in technique and doesn't have a higher power level. Goku has a fucking galactic level power level and is amazing with technique. There's no way this guy
Bro.
stands any chance.
Man, I didn't realize you were
He's
such a
got
Goku
that.
freaking fan. My lord, dude.
Whoa.
I'm a martial arts fan, and I know what I'm talking about.
Nah, I think you're a Goku fan.
Whatever. Fuck.
think
We
you
are
like-
seeing
I
a
think you're
new
like-
one today.
Oh man, I hate Vegeta. Goku's my new favorite.
No, fuck Goku and his perfect hairline.
I will say that the comedy in this anime was pretty funny.
Oh, for sure.
Just out of nowhere, it just had some funny moments that made me laugh during like the fights. Like when during the fight with Orochimaru, like when he grabbed him by the hair, and was like, "Oh my hair! Oh, I was stuck."
Oh, yeah.
and then he
Oh,
I
the
love
punched him.
technique
these
goes out the
snatches
window
about your hair
when I got my a hold on you.
And then when he punched him and ripped his hair off, he had that big bald spot on his head. That shit cracked me up, bro.
But then it got covered when his hair turned white or whatever. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm glad they did that
And
because
I'm
I
still
would not have
missing
been
hair.
able to take it. I wouldn't have been able to take the rest of the fight serious if he had a big old bald spot.
No.
Like
It didn't cover it back.
Yeah,
he grew
I
it
thought
back.
it was going to do it, but it did do it.
It didn't. He still had the
What?
bald spot. The remaining hair just
Right.
turned white.
Yeah. No, because
Nah,
then it
'cause when
turned
he-
black again afterwards. It turned
And
black
then he
again
had
after
hair.
he got, and then he had hair.
I remember, like, when I saw the bald
might as
spot, I
well
was
tell
like,
us
oh,
about
now he's an old man. And then his hair goes white, and I was like, now he's really an old man.
I
You
feel
had
like
Seven Ninja.
when they brought up the fighting, I feel like when they brought in the fight with Orochimaru, they were like, our story means absolutely nothing. We gotta put something in here. Let's make this fight as best it can. And I'm gonna be real with you. I think the whole budget for the whole anime went into this fight because they somehow figured out what their story might be about after this fight. I feel like that's what happened.
Well, I do firmly believe that it's what I was saying earlier. They're writing it with an idea and letting the world build itself as they write it.
Mm.
Like you said, when they throw in Orochimaru and expanded on things, you know, to me that's what it feels like. Because I write a lot of my stories like that, and then I'll go rewrite them after with a story in mind.
Mm.
I got a question for you, Seven Ninja. Do you still think the story is mid, even after like episode 7 or 8 when they took us for a loop with that? The guy coming back and taking her away and was like, you know nothing of the superhuman world, blah blah blah.
The story was already mid beforehand, and him showing up does not make it better. And the reason I say that is that, like I said, if they would have ended with him getting to the top of the tower, and that was just the end of the anime, him saving his girl, I could have been like, whatever. But like, it's not. It's going on past that, and so now we're seeing him potentially trying to go fight a guy that will just probably bring the girl back into the regular world, and she'll just be like nothing ever happened. Odds are high that's just gonna happen. And nothing about his side of the story makes me feel invested, because again, I have no reason to believe this guy's evil. I have no reason to believe the gangs are gonna keep trying this dude. This other guy is rising up, and he took out most of the masters. You know, I want to see what's going on more with these gangs, but if nothing happens with these gangs, and he's just protecting, we're gonna go with an elite. You know, I'm not. I don't know. The story isn't really hitting for me. I might watch like a couple episodes after this, but if I don't see anything that's really got, you know what? I just remembered. I watched the last episode, and I watched the after credits. You know how they do that? They're telling you what's going to happen next. They're having another tournament arc. They already had one with the Tower of Power. Now they're having another tournament arc after this, where he's trying to become, I'm guessing, the main protector or main guard, and he's going to be fighting these beasts and monsters, which I kind of wanted to see earlier on with him going in these caves to get those crystals. But I guess it's better to find some form of way, so I'm happy that it's at least there. But they're hitting the marks that you would see in any shonen anime, but they're hitting them too fast. And I think that that's a problem, because we're not seeing him outright grow. We're just seeing his... I wouldn't even say he's really using his powers that well, because he's not really learning anything new. Go ahead, Brock. You said like you got to say something. I see it in you. Yes.
The character we keep referring to as Orochimaru is named Chu Mushan.
Yeah, we're gonna keep saying Orochimaru.
Orochimaru.
Okay.
Chu Mushan.
Orochimaru.
How about Chu Mushan? This Orochimaru name.
Just for anybody that sees this and references going forward, his name's
actually they're gonna know how to
Orochimaru.
spell it.
We're just calling him Orochimaru.
By the way,
anyway,
there's
do you know how to spell Orochimaru?
Of course.
Yeah, I think so, I do.
ORICHAMARU. Orochimaru.
Alright, type that in Google, see if you get it right.
Orochimaru.
Chu Mushan. I mean,
go ahead.
anyway. I should say that one's. They're equally easy or hard to spell, depending. I guess it's harder in maybe Mandarin. It sounded like they were talking Mandarin and not Cantonese. Chu Mushan and Mandarin. I guess the Mushan part, right, could be either Xian or Shan. So yeah, you're right. Spelling could be weird on it.
Also, one thing
but all I'm really gonna say, All I really got to say about it is that, like, the story hasn't gotten better. I'm gonna give it about maybe 3 episodes and see where they're going, and maybe I'll like it then. But as of right now, the biggest detriment to this story to me, this anime to me, is the story. There's nothing right now that's really causing me to come in. Because again, we may understand a little bit about his powers, but in the grand scheme of things, is there something more? Can he do way more than we know? Because all it seems to me is he's getting stronger by collecting these crystals, and for whatever reason, he's still not collecting these crystals. And that should be his main.
He didn't have a lot of time.
You know what?
She got kidnapped.
Clip it. Right here.
Okay.
This anime has more story than freaking Fooly Cooley, and y'all can suck it.
I'm not clipping that shit.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I don't even know what Fooly Cooley. That sounds like a cereal.
Everybody holds Fooly Cooley on this freaking pedestal, and it's like there's nothing to it. I don't know why Fooly Cooley is so. Everybody's like, oh, you must be talking about the second or third season. I'm like, no, all of it. It sucks.
Is this like a Brockstrap old guy moment? Is this a Grandpa Brockstrap moment?
It is certainly feeling like one. Well, you know, I don't think so.
What does it have to do with being old? I can recognize like fucking overrated garbage.
I'll explain it. All these kids and their music
TV head and freaking alien who's like maybe a predator of some sort to this young kid.
My day,
no story. Maybe there's a baseball bat somewhere. I don't know. It's freaking garbage. Everybody can stomp on Supercube's story, but man, Fooly Cooley, bro, that's something that
Supercube's story,
which is why we got to be hero.
They are. It seems pretty obvious to me that they're writing the story very quickly. It looks like the process is we have an idea and then we write it out, and instead of thinking out that idea. One of the big tells for that is the fact that this Mohawk gangster dude who had a lot of prestige in the gangster community just fell for this lie and took a hostage to fucking draw this guy out and shit. Because, bro, if you got a lot of prestige in the gangster community, you're not going to just take on that mission without hard, concrete evidence. What doesn't what?
I thought he lost his ranking within the family.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He had a lot of prestige in the gangster community. He knows better than to take on this mission without hard, concrete evidence that he's going to get what he wants out of that negotiation. That doesn't happen.
Well,
these are gangsters.
I thought he killed that redhead. He's still alive.
It's not like they're employees for a company with insurance and laws that are going to make sure people follow through with their promises. These are gangsters. They have to know for a fact that they're going to get what they want before they agree to anything. That's how things go.
I mean, but it was true that she has ties to the guy he's looking for, but she just doesn't remember. Because in the first episode, like, this dude saves her. And, like, but I never remembered a name. So when they were talking about this Jigu Chin guy, I was like, that's not the main character's name. Who the fuck is this guy? And then like later, like they're explaining like she has ties. I'm like, oh yeah, she was saved by him in the first episode. So it does kind of make sense a little bit. I kind of
I did miss the first episode.
I kind of have like different views on Seven Ninja and Secret Cold Sauce with like the story, like it was like at the first 7 episodes was mid until it took us for a loop. Like when I say it kind of reminds me of Attack on Titan, is because like Attack on Titan was like slow for like a good solid few episodes, and like this wasn't really, I would say, slow, but it was like the story progression wise was kind of slow. But it just kept me in personally for like the action and stuff, and like some comedy here or there. And then like it was like, okay, this story is like whatever. But then like all of a sudden, boom, like Eren gets eaten by a Titan. What the fuck? You know, like what the fuck just happened? I thought he was the main character, you know.
Right.
And then like so like it just kind of that type of shit kind of hooks me, you know.
Like
when
nothing
it's just-
happening and then everything happening kind of thing.
Yes, and then like
Yeah.
just okay, something real just happened. You know, I gotta find out what happens next. You know, so that's what kind of hooks me.
Okay. Well,
Seems like overall we
strawberry
enjoyed it.
milk or chocolate milk?
Oh, dude. Fucking
Wait, what?
whole milk. Pure
Strawberry
white
milk or chocolate
whole
milk?
milk.
Yeah, something like that. I guess you could say it like
Awesome.
that.
I'm gonna have to go with chocolate milk, to be honest with you.
Pure.
Yeah, 'cause, like,
authentic,
right-
straight from the udder, whole milk.
'Cause right now, what I'm thinking is, like, since Shigu-kin or Shigu-chin, I don't know how to pronounce it. The guy who took the main girl disappeared.
Don't-
Says you know nothing about the superhuman world. I feel like there's more than just the main character and his powers. Like, there's more people, there's more worlds, like a whole different glitchy world that we need to see that he hasn't been to yet, and more people within it, and more people strong like that. So I think there's more to the main love interest than we know. Like, she has some sort of tie to the superhuman world, and she just doesn't remember, or she's a really good liar. One of those. And like I think there's just like a whole other side to this story that I like we know nothing about, and I really want to explore it.
Yeah, I want to keep watching it.
My question is, how does he keep replenishing his energy? Because it seemed like even when he was tired in the two gangs fighting in the gymnasium, he wasn't tired, right? And then like he was tired fighting the Chu Mushan guy up on the tower, and then all of a sudden they're all falling and he seems to have energy again. And then even with the when he's in that room, right, defusing the bomb and everything, and he puts it in his deal, like he's like dead kind of, but not really. I don't understand, like, outside of the cube keeping him alive, the cube seemed like it was even broken at that time, and he just keeps coming back and then re-energizing somehow. Do we know what's up with that yet?
Mm-hmm. I'm just chalking it up to random adrenaline pumps just coming out of nowhere. But honestly, I wondered that in the first fight as well, because I was just like, you're supposed to be tired. This is supposed to be a bluff. Yet, for some reason, you decide to beat the rest of them up. Don't know.
And yeah,
It's
even
horrible.
fighting the doll user, right? Like, there he was inside on the ground, like underneath rubble, tired as crap. And then the guy escaped, and he's like, "All right, let's do it. I'm going after this guy." And then they're like fighting on falling rubble.
Well, that was
I
a
just-
special technique. When he pulled the shovel out,
I wasn't even talking about that. I'm just like, he was tired. Like, he was laying on the ground, just not. I don't know if he was catching a breath for a second. That's all it was. But like, it made it seem like he was just donezo.
yeah. No,
The
I
only
agree.
answer I got to that is the cube does work on its own without him actually telling it to do stuff. And so maybe in some form of way it could give him some boost of energy. But again, you know, it kept talking about how exhausted he was, and it never says like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a boost of energy," or "I can do this." So there's nothing really saying why it happened.
Well, I thought
Well,
the cube even said, like, if it was tired, it needed to pull itself out of his body too. Otherwise, the cube would go down with it. So assuming that was that line of logic. Like, I didn't think if he got tired to that point, you think the cube would just come out of his body again and not want to, right? Like,
Lay him
Mhm.
I
down.
would explain it. I would explain it like this: is that as he's getting these upgrades with it's upgrading like specifically his body. Like the Wolf Girl talked about that, where everything is pure with him. And so like us, when we get an adrenaline rush, we can suddenly do amazing things. So if this guy's got a few seconds to catch his breath and his body is capable of doing things like punching through a fucking solid concrete wall and shit like that, his adrenaline rushes are gonna be, nearly incomprehensible for, just very surprising and amazing, in my opinion, because it's not like power from the cube. It's his body doing the stuff. It's his body that got up, So I can see adrenaline rushes becoming way more than like before the upgrades and shit like that. Because an adrenaline rush, like someone like my mom could lift a car in an adrenaline rush if trying to save her baby or some shit. But we've heard stories like that for regular humans. So yeah, I mean, I can see adrenaline rushes.
Is that the rule or the exception to the rule? I've never seen. I don't know. I've never even seen one out of all the videos out there that I could watch. I've never seen a woman like lifting a car off of a. I just don't see it happening.
Well, I mean, when I heard that story, it was like on the news.
You would think that there would be one out there, or even like riddled the internet. Like that'd just be a crazy thing to see. I get what you're saying, though. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that analogy isn't accurate.
No, I get what he's saying. Probably just executed poorly. I get what he's saying. Like, normal humans can do some pretty amazing shit when adrenaline hits. So when he, like a non-superhuman, gets some adrenaline, he's coming back from the brink of exhaustion, finishing off these crazy enemies.
I feel like I wanted to see him use his power more. Also, because like we saw him teleport stuff out of the box, but you have a teleportation ability. Why not use more of it? Like especially during the Orochimaru fight, he's just straight up throwing regular hands, and I enjoyed it for what it was. But like, hey, if I could teleport, I'm about to get behind this dude. I'm about to deck him right in the back of his head. It's happening. Because the last thing I want is for this fight to go on any longer than it has to. If I'm supposed to be exhausted, I've got maybe 3-4 more fights to do before I get to the top. So I'm gonna have to. I'm trying to end these fights fast. That's what he did. The guy hit with the hammer. Like I'm gonna end these fights fast.
Yeah, agreed.
That in fact, coming out of nowhere is hilarious.
That fight, at the start of it, when Orochimaru is explaining like, we're destined to be rivals. You're all strength and I'm all technique. And then the choreography of the fight showed none of that. I was like, okay, now we're gonna see, the difference between a big muscled up motherfucker versus Bruce Lee, and that's not at all what we saw. We saw them both throwing very technique, very proficient hands.
Immaculate hands. Yeah. Immaculate.
I mean, they were both using Wing Chun. They were both using Kung Fu. I noticed that. And if this guy, like that guy claimed, is just power, well, then obviously he shouldn't have these techniques. But at the same time, like I said earlier, the cube explained that when he gets these power-ups, it recodes his DNA. And so he does understand how to use his power and everything. And then also it's increasing his strength and his endurance and all of that. So I would imagine part of that, since it's rewriting his DNA anyway, is understanding techniques that will bring you up to that new power level, not just with your strength and everything, but how to use it. And so I can see how technique would come with it. It seems kind of underexplained, and it's certainly, I don't understand why they put in that dialogue if that wasn't going to be a factor in the fight itself.
Yeah, definitely see your point. I personally don't remember that part, but I'm taking your word for it. But
It was
It's called-
basically before the fight started. Whenever he said that to him.
Mm.
all I can think
He
about
did
is
say he
just
had like a glass. He was a glass can or something. And this dude,
Right.
the only reason I know the Orochimaru dude was able to survive that fight is because he had those talismans placed around his body. Because like 100%, like he said, I'm a glass cannon. If you hit me, it's over. But
His exact
like-
words were,
But he
"My
wasn't.
head's like an egg for someone like you."
But he did
I-
have defensive talismans. I don't know how much that played
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, we don't know about the talismans, but one of them had to be a revival talisman because he certainly killed him with that after the yo-yo punch. Or no, when he grabbed his hair, when he freaking cracked his sternum and sent him across the building.
Yeah, he said it was a defensive talisman. He was like, "Oh dang, I can't believe it! Like what it was, it disintegrated after one punch from you or something amazing or something like that."
Right.
After the weight bearing talismans down his arm, did that add to his punching or did that resist the punching? Like, I guess I wouldn't know how that one works necessarily. You'd think,
think
it
that-
would,
wasn't he trying to blow him out the building?
Well,
yeah,
I
you
can
think
tell
it would
this much.
resist, right? Because he would have to be punching while it being weighed down. You don't think it would add any extra force, probably.
Well, it does add extra force because it's more weight being moved. And the only reason I know that is because me and my buddy Guy, whenever we used to box a lot, we wanted to see what it would be like to box each other with weighted boxing gloves. And we were hitting each other a lot slower, but it hurt a lot more. So
Yeah, I
feel that.
remember like when he grabbed the string that the puppet was on, and then the guy was like in his super form trying to like pull him back. He's like, "What the heck? I cannot pull him back." He's like, "Remember, I'm like 3.5 million pounds now," and then yanked him. I hit him.
actually, another clear example of why the weight would have actually helped him in that situation is if you just tied a string to like your fan and then put like a fucking 1 pound weight on the end of the string, pulled it back and then let go of it, and it hit you or whoever's standing there, and then you replace that weight with a fucking 10-pound weight, it's gonna be the same speed. The speed is not gonna be affected on a string with just gravity and stuff, but it is gonna hurt more when it's more
But
weight.
it's not like an actual weight, though. It's like just his arm, right?
But the weight of his arm is now 3.5 trillion pounds, according to this guy.
I just really like the comedy in this show. Like
Oh, for sure.
the hammer coming out of nowhere and beating that first guy on the first floor, just that cracked me up. And then like
Nice.
some of it felt misplaced, but it was still funny nonetheless. Like after the fight with the tiger chick or the wolf chick or whatever, and then the wind guy, and like he's like, "Yo, just go, leave," and he's like, So you're saying you lost?" Like it just felt like misplaced, but it was funny. He was like trolling him and paranoid at the same time. I thought stuff like that was funny.
Yeah, the wolf chick is definitely the strongest person in the show right now,
Yeah,
according to everything.
that he fought. Well,
That-
because
that-
he leveled up. She like tasted his blood and got like way stronger or something like that. But yeah, dude, she was something else. Like when fighting him, like that shit was nuts. Like he couldn't even
I wanted
like
to see more
this
fighting
guy.
with the first guy.
Which first guy? The big smiley
Like,
guy?
No, the
Cloud?
purple hair guy from the very first episode. The one
Oh.
taking on like the four secret security guys.
Shigukin. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more of him, for sure. Let's see. If anyone else got any other topics to bring up about this anime?
Not that I can think of.
Not, we can go on to final
Nah.
thoughts. Final thoughts about the anime, then we can move on to the gaming segment. Hunter, 7 Ninja, then Brockstrap.
All right. Final thoughts. I'm gonna give it an overall 8.5 out of 10. I do recommend it if you don't mind reading subtitles. I know that's a really dumb thing to read subtitles while you're watching a show, but I mean anybody that does that is just weird, honestly. But
I do it even with
What
English.
a
What are you talking
hater. What a
It's weird.
hate,
I'm trying to
You
make
speak
sure I can
English.
hear what the hell they're saying over my kids, even on the English one. I have
bro.
freaking closed
None of us
captioning
are
on like the
speaking
Homer
Mandarin
Simpson
or
show.
Japanese or any of these. During this podcast, we're all speaking American. None of us are speaking other. So I don't understand why y'all are reading. You just read the manga if you want to read the
You
show.
have
I don't
Why
get
read
it.
anything?
Interstellar.
I
You have to have subtitles on there. I don't know if you guys have watched that. You have to have subtitles on there, dude. It's so
The
quiet.
movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Interstellar.
Are you not fast
That
enough at
movie.
reading to see what's happening on the screen at the
Dude.
same time?
I
Half the time-
I saw Interstellar, and that movie made me want to fight somebody. I saw it in prison, and I was ready to fight somebody. By the time I was like, "This is the stupidest fucking movie I ever fucking seen, bro." All of it, everything in the movie was stupid. There wasn't a single decision made that I didn't. That I was like, "Wow, that's a fucking good decision." That the whole thing was dumb. But anyway, final thoughts on the thing. Yeah, 8.5. The theme song was fucking awesome. The theme song was really fucking awesome. The story is, it's not all there, but the show's fun enough to keep you wanting to watch it anyway. The action is amazing. The animation is top tier. So a good 8.5 with a recommendation.
Okay. Immaculate Hands does not save an anime from a bad story, and this one had a bad story. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't even care for it. So I'm hoping 3 more episodes in, we'll see something that'll make me say, okay, I want to watch this show. But if it doesn't get there after these 3 episodes, I don't know, man. This show better be nothing but fight. That's all I gotta say. But outside of that, what I rate it, I'm dropping a solid 6 on this one. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Gotcha.
Your
Another
intro said
show-
8.
What?
Another.
I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
I was calling Ninja out when he started talking about the anime. He was like, I'm gonna agree with Cold Sauce. I'm about an 8 or 8.5, somewhere around there. And then now he's like, it's a 6.
I thought I heard him agree on the animation stuff. Anyway, another show that I watched before that was mostly fighting and not like a lot of good story was Tenjo Tenge. That was kind of a weird one too, but this one's a lot better than that one. I feel like animation was great. Kind of reminded me of K, the Kings or whatever. Just kind of a pretty background, and the animation was pretty really well drawn and kind of high quality. The hands, the fighting animation, even in the not just like the Xuanzhang guy or whatever, but the fight in the gymnasium and all the other fights, like the choreograph was done really well. Even if it wasn't like high budget fighting, it was still choreographed pretty good. Story, I'm going in again at the end of the last episode, like everything went crazy, so I'm ready to see what's going on for the story there, and I'm kind of like a sucker for like rom-com kind of animes too, slice of life stuff. So like, even though that's not super prevalent, it's still kind of in there, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good mixture of everything I like. So I'll probably give it an 8 for sure. Still kind of getting over the whole Mandarin versus Japanese like writing, or speaking. But also, I don't know about you, but subtitles only really happen when they talk, and when they talk, they're not really fighting. So like, I don't understand the whole like. I can read a little sentence pretty quick, right, while they're talking and not fighting. Sometimes you miss something when you're reading. Yeah. I don't know.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah,
Same.
I'd recommend it.
Oh, my final thoughts is I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5 up there with Hunters. Like I understand what Seven Ninjas talking about with the story. I understand what it's called. I don't understand what Hunter's talking about speaking other or subtitles. I mean, in not liking reading. I don't like to read, but I'll read subtitles. What's it called? Other than that, I kind of understand what Seven Ninjas is talking about with the story. Like some of it's like mid, a lot of it's mid. I'm not gonna lie, but the episode 7's where the whole world changes, and I think most people would probably be interested. Like when it comes to like story, like I feel like this is a better story than anything Dragon Ball produced. So. Like I still think it's pretty good, and we all love Dragon Ball, so that's my thoughts on it. Other than
Hey,
that,
this guy's strong. Let's fight him.
yeah. Oh, he's threatening to destroy the world. We gotta stop him. That's basically the whole premise of any Dragon Ball arc. Then other than that. Yeah, great movie or not movie, anime. I recommend it. In my opinion, I think it's cool. Especially if you like fighting action animes. Choreography in this one, top tier in my opinion. Other than that, we're good to move on to the gaming segment.
7 episodes.
For the light, till the dawn first glow. Fight for the right, feel the power flow. Fight with all our might, and the truth will show.
Episodes to get there.
It kept me
Most
curious,
people aren't
though.
watching 7 episodes. Most people are not watching 7 episodes. Maybe 3. Maybe even 4. We could even go 5, but not
Look,
7.
Ninja,
That's a lot of episodes.
Let me chime in right here. The fact that I made it to episode 7 should say that, because we usually cut off at episode 5. You only need to watch the first 5 episodes. Going into it this morning, I was like, I'm gonna just watch 5 episodes, and then I was like, well, this fucking show's pretty fun to watch when I'm not reading.
Yeah, like I don't know what was that one that Stuff Central wanted us to watch about the time rewind and shit. I actually I gave it all the way up to
Erased?
11.
Tokyo.
Oh, Steins Gate. Steins
Yeah,
Gate.
Steins Gate.
I hate
Yeah,
time manipulation shows.
that one was
Bro.
like not until like episode 11, and then like it finally started getting real. I was like borderline like done with the show, but luckily I was editing videos while watching it, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck just happened on episode 11? Then I got hooked.
I'm telling you, I couldn't watch it. I couldn't do it. It was just so hard. I've never seen a main character make me just not like the show at all. And it was like, I love the concept. I love the theories. I said, you know what I'm going to do? Because I want to give Stuff Central the best chance I got. And so I was like, let me go watch videos about it. Let me go understand the story. And let me understand the different perspectives as best I can from all these people that are doing some kind of documentary on the show. And after doing all that, I was like, oh, there's a lot going on here. Too bad I would have missed it if it wasn't for this main character I hate so much. Oh my god, dude. Cold Sauce, you would not have watched that anime. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I know you would have watched that anime. You would have hated it.
It doesn't really have any fighting.
You're 100% right. I wouldn't have. I hate it whenever they introduce time travel or time manipulation in any show. So if the whole show is centered around that concept, I'm not even going to try it.
I've seen it done well.
Unwell?
I've seen it done well.
Oh.
Time manipulation stuff.
It's always just lazy writing, bro. it doesn't matter. Like if you fuck up your story, just go back in time, bro. Fuck it. Don't
Well,
worry
well,
about
I mean, the easy way out of it, or the one I see more often, is like something happened in the future. So what happens is they go back to the past and stay in the past for like long segments, and then go back and see.
Terminator blueprint.
Right. I mean, that's about the only way I've seen it done well. Other stuff, it's not even time manipulations, but it's like kind of information collecting to where like they reference back to what happened earlier, and then you have a little bit of story here, a little bit of story here, and then it all comes together at the end. Sometimes I like that kind of too, where you're just confused the whole time until at the very end it finally makes sense.
I think the biggest issue with time manipulation is like, let me get this out and we can skip on. But I think the biggest issue with time manipulation is that there's always this idea of, is there an agenda or is it going to follow a set of rules? And it's like, the simple fact is, I think I was playing BioShock Infinite, and they had made it where at the very end, like the character you're playing has to die in order for all the timelines to be changed. But the problem is if you see other timeline rules, you'll see that like there are subtle changes, which are the 1% changes that don't really matter because they'll end up in the same end anyway. And then you have these main prominent changes, such as killing your own grandpa or something. You know, there's these main things that if you change them, it would change the world in some weird way, or change your world in some weird way. And so it's like, I think the biggest issue that I see with timeline changes or time mechanisms in any anime or show is that they try to focus an agenda and they forget that they already made some kind of a counter to that very argument in an earlier part because they decided to focus on an agenda instead of leaving it open.
I think it just takes away consequences completely. Once you have time travel ability, there's no such thing as consequences for you. And that's what I hate about it. That's why I call it lazy writing.
Yeah, I see that too. Dragon Balls, you know, no consequence.
Fun fact, Future Trunks was inspired by Terminator, coming back from the future to save his present.
Interesting.
My favorite time mechanism anime is Samurai Jack. I know you guys have seen that anime, cartoon, whatever. Best timey-wimey stuff ever.
Wade just stays in the future, right?
Goes to the future, goes back in every not every episode, but every couple episodes he goes back a few thousand years.
They say in the show, like in the opening of it, when Aku or whatever his name is explaining like the prologue, that's it, of the story, that he put him in the future. But I knew that was a lie. He put him in the past because the future has to be like the present time in the Powerpuff Girls, because Samurai Jack definitely grew up to become Professor what's his name and make the Powerpuff Girls.
I thought you were being serious here. All right,
you got us there. You got us.
So
no, here it is. Before the final blow was struck, I open a portal in time and flung him into the future where my evil is strong.
He's fucking around, bro. Professor.
It was a future of a different timeline because his regular timeline, he made the Powerpuff Girls.
He's talking about like he said Samurai Jack grew up to be this guy.
They got the same haircut.
Yeah.
Well, they got the same everything. Same head, same haircut.
Dude, Professor from Powerpuff Girls. Oh, Slash.
Imagine Mojo Jojo pulls up on his house, and then he's just like, the Powerpuff Girls aren't here to save you, and Professor just pulls out a sword like, I don't need them.
All right. Gaming segments. Squall, hit us with that intro.
All right. So This game is one suggested by Hunter. It is On Livian Remastered. Go ahead. We really mean Oblivion. Just when Hunter suggested it, he had a typo. It's spelled On Livian. So like, it was a funny story too, cause like when he first when I first updated the schedule this morning and said like the game is gonna be this, he's like, what about On Livian remake? And I was like, I was about to be like, the fuck is that? And I was about to tag you, Brockstrap, and you, Seven Ninja. I was like, have you guys ever heard of On Livian? And then as I'm typing them out, like I'm about to hit send, I was like, oh, this fool means Oblivion. Okay, all right. All right, take it away, Hunter.
All right, so I really don't know a whole lot about Oblivion, but I did play it like the first go round whenever I was a kid, and my cousin Trent had it on his Xbox, and I would go to his house and play it. And I was like a kid, so I was like in 8th grade. So like when I played video games, I wasn't trying to get deep into all kind of lore and everything. So I remember like making my character, taking forever to make my character. I was so excited to be able to like have so much customization with my character. That was the first time I had that much from a game with character customization. And then like the story, like when it starts off, I remember thinking like, man, this feels like compared to other games I was playing, I was like, this feels really cool. This feels really different. And then like I started playing a little bit and I'm fighting people, and then my cousin Trent is like, you can be a gladiator. And I was like, how the hell do I do that? And so he shows me how to go to the stadium, and I start fighting enemies to become a gladiator and shit like that. And he's like, you can also be a vampire. And I was like, how the hell do you do that? And he starts explaining how to become a vampire, and it's like a lot of steps and missions. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds really complicated. I'm just going to stay in this stadium being a gladiator. So I basically only grinded to become champion. And at that point, when I became champion, I was like, awesome. Like, this game's amazing. Like, I've done everything I want to do in this game. And I really only touched like fucking 2% of what you can do in the game. So, but it's Oblivion, for those of y'all who don't know, it's basically the blueprint for all of these open world RPG style games. This is where it started. This was the real pivotal turning point for games to become things like Skyrim and Elder Scrolls and those kind of games that we see these days. This was the one that really took that rocket into outer space. And so that's why everybody's excited about this remake. I saw a guy talking about it on YouTube this morning, and basically what they did was they just took the game. Nice. Yeah, they just took the game and then they just put Unreal Engine 5 on top of it. So it still has all the bugs and a lot of like the voice acting. There's a good bit of moments. I'm sure Brockstrap will be able to tell you some of them, but one of them I remember was there was this lady talking, and she says her whole line, and then you hear her go, "Oh wait, I didn't like that. Can I say that one again?" And it's like, and it goes into the final game, and it's like, hang on a second. So, but it's really cool. Another thing that's really cool about the game, it was way ahead of its time, was the game reacts to you as you play it. It doesn't feel like these are just NPCs that are programmed to behave certain ways. It does seem a lot more intricate than most games, especially for the time that it came out and everything. So, I mean, that's about all I got to say on it. So, whoever's next.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
the only reason I know that there is an Oblivion remaster is because I happened to see something about Helldivers. Arrowhead's talking about if you release this, release Oblivion, we'll do something on Helldivers for you. And so like there was like a back and forth between the Oblivion devs and the Arrowhead devs about probably just a joke, but they were talking about releasing stuff with each other. And so that is the only reason I know anything about this remaster. I played some of Skyrim. I played Elder Scrolls as MMO. I mean, I didn't hate it, but like honestly, it was kind of boring to me if I'm gonna be real with you. And I don't really like Fallout much either. Overall, I thought like I'm sure like there's a lot to do there. It's probably a lot of fun to have, but like in the grand scheme of things, I realized I didn't really care much for that series of games. You know, it felt like one of those games where you just hop on just to do something, and maybe something will catch your eye, but for the most part, it wasn't something I was interested in.
Gotcha. It's one of those games that you can do anything that you want, or just like actually it can be, even though it's open world, if you just keep on the main story quest, it's pretty linear. It's always got that mini map spot onto the next thing you want to do, and that can be said for a lot of the open world games as well. But for anybody that, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's one of those you pop on, and I get so distracted. There was especially on Skyrim, I played a lot of Skyrim, and I was on my way to the next thing, and then like, oh, there's a giant over there in the field, or I go to the next thing, and like, oh, there's another giant village with a couple mammoths or whatever, and Bethesda.
You forget that you're on a mission.
Right, Bethesda, I don't know if they're known for their glitches, but like if it's not game ending, I think they leave it in on purpose, because man, them like giants or mammoths flying way up into the air, like that's just freaking comedy, man. Nothing, I've never run into something.
It's a feature.
Right, I've never run into something that isn't game breaking that I've actually enjoyed as a bug, because my player model's been sent through the air too, and I just like, what's going on here? But Oblivion was pretty fun. Definitely a lot different than Skyrim, even though it's pretty similar. A lot different, like the lock picking mechanism and the characters. I think in Skyrim, you're in the Skyrim part of Tamriel, right? Where Oblivion, where are you? It's more in the center, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the region that you're in on Oblivion. But yeah, when I was watching, because I've watched plenty of online people playing, and I don't even know, did they even have like a marketing program? I didn't see any marketing at all. It's just kind of like, bam, it's in your face.
Oh, nothing.
No,
nothing at all. I didn't see a thing.
It just came out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden everybody's freaking out about it. I'm like, what? It wasn't even anywhere on my radar.
No, because the people that make the game, it wasn't even their decision to do it. It was Xbox's decision to make yeah. It wasn't Bethesda that decided that. Xbox was like, hey, y'all need to come out with a remake on this. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but it was Xbox's decision against Bethesda to do an Oblivion remake.
Gotcha. But yeah, it feels like, just looking at it, it feels very like Diablo 2 remastered to me, to where like the gameplay's literally the exact same, only it's a little prettier. So I have the original. I don't feel myself having the need to go out and buy the remaster, even if it's prettier. The old one's not like terrible still, even like I wouldn't say it holds up to today's standards, but like I have no problem going back and playing it for what it is. So but yeah, when I was watching it, I didn't notice any difference in the gameplay. Same speed, same bow and arrow like animation, you know. Looks cool. I'm glad it's a thing. I'm happy a lot of people are happy with it. But yeah, it's one of those things like, what?
It's also another good thing I'll say about it is they put it out, and they put it out for $50. And I thought, you know, when I heard about that, especially after the dude in the video I was watching brought it up, is that it was kind of Xbox's way of showing that they're not following the trend that Nintendo is trying to create, because Nintendo just came out with a remake of Breath of the Wild and they're selling it for $90.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But
Legend of Zelda Breath
I
of the Wild,
wouldn't
Are you talking
Wait,
like the
what?
Switch 2?
I believe.
Switch 2.
I know that it's a remake of Breath of the Wild and it's $90. And Xbox
Yeah.
says, "Hey, y'all need to make a remake of Oblivion." And it wasn't Bethesda that did it. Also, there's this it's this other company that they've been doing a lot of remakes. It's kind of like they rent the rights to it and they'll just remake the game and put it out. And I mean, I don't know how the paying, the money, where it goes or whatever, but I really feel like, knowing that it was Xbox's decision and then it coming out for $50 instead of this trend that Nintendo's trying to do, is Xbox saying, hey, we're on the side of the gamers. We're not trying to fuck over everybody's wallets.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But at the same time, like, oh, hey, you're not even like updating the gameplay. You're just giving us a prettier version of something we probably already have. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
it was supposed to be
necessarily
a
on the
good
side of the
project.
gamers.
And at the same time, a lot of those bugs, like you mentioned earlier, it's fun. It makes the game fun.
Right.
So
Here's
it's
something
out
I
there.
feel. Here's something I feel that Nintendo's maybe something they might be going through. Maybe. So think of a town, right? And the whole town has to pay X amount for their water. And Ocarina of Time remake, yeah. Another one also. I know
No,
they
that's
had
the
the
one.
3DS.
That's the one he meant.
Okay. Anyway, like if a town has to do the water and then say half the town moves out, like the other half of the town that didn't move out has to still pay for the whole entirety of the water, right? So like everybody that stuck around is gonna have to pay more to have that same cash flow moving out of the town to have access to that same water. So I think that's kind of what Nintendo might be going through right now. Maybe they're losing people buying their product. So like in order to make what it needs to, it might start charging for those people that they know are still coming back. I could be entirely wrong on this. That's kind of what I'm thinking in my head. I can't think that they would do that just to make everybody frustrated, right? Like they probably sat down, had a hard decision to make. Hey, we need this to keep doing whatever. Again, could be wrong, but that's just my thought. We need to do this in order to make ends meet. Like,
well,
people will come for sure.
I mean, I do understand, the business aspect of it and stuff like that. But if you look at Nintendo's movements for the last, decade, I mean, they just been attacking any and everybody. They brought, what's that, Power World. They brought Power World to court knowing that they're going to lose. And they're just throwing money at the courts to
Essentially.
make it go on longer and longer. Yeah.
But if your IPs get, and I'm not saying that they haven't done on their end as
It's
well. I
just
know a lot of, it's a lot of.
on-
We're gonna go after China for all of our. Go ahead. Sorry.
Actions speak louder than words. It really
Right.
just looks like Nintendo is just extremely greedy and money hungry at this point. They're just scraping in every penny that they can at this point when you look at
Right.
the actions that they've been doing.
No, and I get what they do too, though, because like, okay, if my intellectual properties are being stolen or used by others and they're profiting and not me, like that's something that I created, right? That I'm getting ripped off on by other people. So what I don't understand is like why they're attacking people instead of like, all right, so we see this online, right? How about we take the because what do they do? The DMCA, what's that even stand for? DMCA
What up, Jamie?
copyright. Here,
Pull it up, Jamie.
what does DMCA stand for?
Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Yeah, so like the
US
DMCA a lot
copyright
of these they DMCA a lot of these fan-made ROMs that are coming out are being created to stop their intellectual property from being stolen, which I understand. But on the same token, like, how about you pick these people up and like expand on their project and give them more budget and stuff? Like, I can't imagine that people would go out, and a lot of these ROM hacks are for free, and that's probably why they're being played. But like, even if you sell like indie Pokemon games underneath the Nintendo brand and like actually help these creators, you know, and I'm guessing a lot of these ROM hacks are just a love letter to Pokemon, right? So like, they DMCA them and stop them, but I don't understand why they don't just bring them on and help them out and reach some sort of agreement with these other, you know, smaller developers. So you're right, actions speak louder than words. You can't just attack everybody that's ripping you off. And if you do feel ripped off, then I understand why you attack as well. But I don't know. It seems like there could be two different ways to
So I was talking to like a homegirl, Calamity Lynn, this morning, and like we are talking about like this whole like Brockstrap. You probably know she was bringing up like Pokemon Sun and Moon, for instance, right?
right.
And then she was talking about how like a lot of people were talking about like the Pokemon models felt like cheap or something, like, and she found out, she was telling me that they just brought the Pokemon 3D models over from the 3DS, like one of the 3DS games, and just brought them over and put them in Sun and Moon. And like
Sun and Moon were 3DS.
it was on
Are you
3DS.
Are you talking Sword and Shield?
Yeah, Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Just talking about Sword and Shield models were like the Pokemon models were brought over from the 3DS. And is there any relevance to that? Did you notice that at all? Because I actually skipped that version.
I mean, if you're gonna bring back, I get it, and I understand frustration with it, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, so like, what more am I going to do to a Charmeleon to make it more like a Charmeleon, right? I understand that importing can seem like it's cheapish and like I didn't do the extra work, but at the same time, like, okay, well, it's a Charmeleon and it looks this way and it's always going to look this way. So like bringing the sprites forward, I noticed sprite differences like on Scarlet and Violet too, but anything that like those were just pretty much texture changes. Like they still looked like what they looked like, and it wasn't even enough, you know, to make me like, all right, well, I guess that looks maybe more like a Psyduck than it did before. Maybe if that's, you know what I mean? I don't know. I get people's frustrations with it, but at the same time, I'm like, well,
her whole point behind it was that like that they weren't given enough time to make the models. It's like Nintendo is like, release a game now, and like they were basically pressuring Game Freak into releasing these games, so they had no choice but to go back and use older models.
Well, in the same token here, like what happens? What more gets added to Pokemon each generation? A whole new regional Pokedex, right? So like, okay, well, maybe on Pokemon Gold and Silver, all right, well, we have 100 more. Maybe we can update the last 150. Okay, sure. 252 total sprites. Then Emerald and Ruby Sapphire come out. Oh, there's like another 120 plus. All right, well, we can redo all these other older sprites too. So like each time they're making more sprites and having to redo all of the sprites from the previous generations. So like that's even way more work just by itself, like compounding on more work each generation. And at some point you're like, all right, so we're gonna update all, I think, 1,050 whatever Pokemon there are now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if it's a time constraint and you've already done all this work and you got to finish the last, like, oh, there's like deadlines tomorrow and I got to fix these bugs, sprites might have been prioritized last just because they can import. I understand your argument as well, but
no, I agree with you.
Calamity.
Definitely, like they have a shit ton of fucking Pokemon they need to update every single game. They're like,
And
like
more.
1,000 plus Pokemon now. So
Right.
whenever they come out with a new game, they're still given a single deadline, and they only have certain and they keep having more and more Pokemon with the same deadlines to update. So it's like it's. But basically, her point was like Nintendo is just like they want the cash grab now. Like whenever they release a new Pokemon game, shit ton of money comes rolling in. So it's not really Game Freak's fault that that they're under this time constraint. It's more of Nintendo's like greediness, basically. So that's why like Scarlet and Violet is coming out with like bugs and shit, like like bad frame rate when a person's walking so far away, stuff like that. For me, like I'm kind of tying this into like Oblivion because maybe this could be a cash grab coming up with a new remake, possibly. I don't know. Like if like all they're doing is updating like the graphics, possibly. That's just my
It's
my
cool that
point
it
of
looks
view.
prettier. Like I
Mhm.
enjoyed the looks. Is the character creation, did that change at all?
That I'm not 100%.
Is that something
sure
they would
about.
have added?
It's
Because if
well,
if everything just looks prettier, but they even added more to the character creation, like that would be a whole nother reason also to like if it was just spectacular out of this world, like that'd be kind of cool too. I saw
know we
somebody
would've-
do like they made the head look like the Pot of Greed card from Yu-Gi-Oh! Potentially. I don't know if that was like an AI photo or what, but like
well,
that
one
could be a
of the
reason.
trends- One of the trends surrounding this game right now online is people uploading like funny looking characters that they made. So it
Right.
probably wasn't AI.
Okay, so but that's the thing, right? Like, okay, what like on top of making it look pretty, like there had to be another draw to this game outside of it just being like a pretty Oblivion, right?
Well,
You
Bro.
gotta add some extra value, otherwise people might feel ripped off.
Well, I mean, kinda because of like you've played through it already and everything, but it was so long ago that the 2 generations of gamers have come out since Skyrim, which was after Oblivion. So, I mean, you could also say, yeah, just put it out with better graphics and show this other generation. This is where the good games were. I'm sorry. This is where the good games were. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's to me, I feel like if it is just a graphics update, then it won't be as big of a deal because like I said, most people that are gaming today are a lot younger and never played Oblivion, or a lot of them never even heard of it, but at the same time are playing like Elder Scrolls. Some people still play Skyrim, I hear. I have no idea why. But I mean, so it was the game that started all of this, and for a good reason, because it was a great game. So I don't see it as being a terrible decision. Plus, it was, like I said, it was purposely put out very quickly. So
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like people are praising the game, Like I think I first heard of it from one of the guys in the After Hours Discord, who's like, "Have you guys seen Oblivion?" I'm like, "No, I got a link." So he posted it. I watched it. It does look like it's been updated. Not gonna lie, I think the first one was
Right.
what, like 2 generations of consoles ago, like the first Oblivion.
it was
The 360 and the PS3.
how many years
Yeah,
ago?
2
When did it
two generations of consoles, because
I think
we're
the
now on
only
PS5 and Xbox
Elders-
Xbox
Oblivion
Series S and X.
Oblivion,
Yeah.
no, Oblivion came out on 360.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's 2
'cause the one
generations
before
of
the-
consoles.
The one on the Xbox was Morrowind, I think. Well, I have it right here.
Original
So,
release. November
yeah.
22nd, 2005. So it's been 20 years since this game came out.
Right. And a lot of
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I think, liked Oblivion more
Wow,
than
you had to do
Skyrim
that
even.
now? Squall?
I
Are you
couldn't.
really that
I was thinking of
skeptical
one.
me?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was thinking like
Not
PS3
that.
was 20 years
Your
ago.
eyes. I watched you think. Your eyes went left to right more than twice for you to do the math on from 2005 to 2025.
Well, because I was like PS3 was 20 years
A
ago,
lot of the cheese.
and I was like
underneath the other
2006.
Oh,
I was like,
oh,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
are in
that is 2006.
Dude, we old,
Yeah,
bro.
that's 20 years.
We old.
Oh, that sucks.
34.
That sucks, no. Holy shit! PS3 was
This is
20
cracking
years ago, bro. Oh my god.
Came out in high school.
Dude, we're onks. We're
No,
old,
fuck
bro.
that. Fuck that. I will
Y'all
not
are
be.
unks. I'm
I will
a
not
dad.
be.
Oh,
I will not be
I
called.
guess I'm an
unk,
uncle,
bro.
but I'm a dad first.
No, onk, like, never mind.
No, shut the fuck up. I know what you're talking about. Some kid, like not a kid. He was like, well, he is kind of a kid. He was like 17. Like when he was on Brawlhalla Mondays, he was in the voice chat with me and Hunter. He's like, how old are you guys? And we're like 30. He's like, oh, 30's like unk status. I was like, oh fuck no, bro. Oh
Yeah.
hell no. I will not be unk. I'll be big
No,
bro.
we're not
I'm not
unk
gonna
yet.
be.
We're-
I'll be big
we're
bro. I'm not
open.
gonna be unk.
You gotta be 50 to be an onk.
Yeah, 40, 50 is like unk, my opinion. And then
We're
even people in the
closer
live
to
chat are
that
like, yeah.
age than we were when the freaking PlayStation 3 came out.
Hey, bro, can you shut the fuck up for 2 seconds and not bring out those facts? All right, that hurts my feelings, bro. That hurts my goddamn feelings that you said that.
Oh, Ninja roasting me in the chat, calling me Uncle Buck. Dude, I fucking love that movie. That I really would be like that. He gives Hunter energy throughout the movie, bro.
All right, nah, but you're 100% right, Brock. I just hate it. I just hate that you're right.
Yeah, dude, you're old, bro.
Time waits for no one.
Unless you decided to write your story with time manipulation, like a loser. Hot take: I didn't really like the Back to the Future movies either.
I didn't watch them.
Yeah, me neither.
Didn't watch them either. Kind of a lukewarm water take, you know.
Yeah, I saw the first one.
Maybe cold.
All right, anything else on Oblivion? Because I've never played the games. All I know is Hunter really disliked the fact that it was first person and you can actually play it in third person.
No,
That story's still hilarious.
But yeah, but no, because
the
the game's
whole
not
game.
made to be in third person, to play in third person, so, and it's all wonky and it's
It's
hard to
either
play.
the thumbstick that you click in or the B button. You never once pressed either of those?
Dude, did you forget who you talking to right now?
I didn't want to say it, but you know what? You said it for me. It is what it is.
Like, that's one of two buttons, or two out of how many buttons are there even on a PlayStation 3 controller? 4, 4, 4, right? So that's 12.
14 buttons.
14 buttons, and you didn't, well, I guess to start and select, but there's like 2
Yeah,
out of 14. You had a
Look,
1 in 7
14
chance of pressing the right button by accident at any one
Look,
given time.
14 buttons, but I was 14 years old also, so somehow it's a good excuse. I don't feel like explaining it. The game would have been way better if it was third person. I'll just say that.
You don't need a whole straw for
It
this,
was
buddy.
third person though.
No, it wasn't. It was a first person game with a third person option, and it was not a good
I agree with that. I agree with that. It's a first-person game. With
If
a
you
third
try-
person option.
Look, Squall, you said you didn't play it. Trust me, if you try to play it in third person, you will have to revert back to first person to do most of the game.
I ain't doing any bow and arrow shit in third person.
I gotta find the clip, bro. That clip was so.
So
fucking
here's the
funny.
thing.
With clip.
TikTok clip. The one
One of
where,
your videos?
yeah. Third person.
Did you
versus-
ever look at options and like button control for
Third person
configuration?
versus.
Yeah, I did. I tried to, like, my cousin Trent told me, no, you can play it in third person, and like he showed me. But like even when I went fight in the Coliseum, because that's all I did was just became a gladiator. And that was the only thing I did in the game. But even fighting in
put
the
him on blast?
Coliseum,
Again?
So okay, it depends on the game. It depends on the game.
right?
First person video games.
First or
What are we
third, it
picking
depends on the
and
game.
Why?
Infamous,
I'm
right?
gonna
The
go with
infamous
the
game with
correct
the guy with
answer,
the electric
which is
powers.
third
I can
person.
imagine playing
Mhm.
that first person.
Third person versus first person video games. What are we picking and why?
I'm gonna go with the correct answer, which is third person. Number one,
The wrong
you
answer.
get to see your character. I remember literally when I was so excited to play Skyrim because I heard that it had like really intricate character customization and there's a shit to the lore, all this other stuff. And dude, I get in there and I spend over an hour creating my character and I start playing and it's fucking first person. I can't even see my damn character. Like, what the fuck? Why would you even let me create a character if it's
Hey,
first
Hunter.
person? What?
You could change to third person in Skyrim.
Yeah. Hey, Blaine, you could shut the fuck up.
Third person.
Yeah, fun
everyone in
fact,
the-
I said Skyrim and I was thinking of Oblivion whenever I was telling that story.
Yeah, and then like the comments were pretty divided. It's like, yeah, Blaine speaking the truth, and then some dude was like, yeah, Blaine, shut up, hilarious, crash out.
Yeah, Ninja just diagnosed like 50% of your problems with your streams and stuff. If you go check the chat.
Man, that I don't know if that's. I'll see. Let me close these out.
You got like 1,000 tabs up there. Oh my god.
Let me close these out. We're gonna be here till 9:30.
Yeah.
I closed out like at least half of them.
Yeah. Are we done with Oblivion?
Shit.
I mean,
I am moving smoothly.
final
That
thoughts
might
on it.
work.
Told you.
Mm-hmm.
It's pulling RAM. All of those have to stay loaded while they're open.
Well, I have
We're
a
not
sh- I
gonna
have a
touch
shit
up on
ton
the
of-
other game.
We can
Leave
talk
that for
about
later.
We
It doesn't
gotta
matter.
move on or talk about. Let's see, what was the other game? Marvel Rivals. We want to save that for later or move on?
Mario Kart. Said Mario Kart
Mario
I
Kart
didn't
was the
talk-
one listed before Oblivion.
on Livian, but we don't. I don't know anything about a new Mario Kart. If it's not double,
We talked
dash,
about
I'm not even entertaining it.
Have you talked about it?
Oh, we talked about it.
We were talking about the Switch
damn.
too. We talked about the Switch too. We already talked about it then.
Well, we didn't. I was just thinking about Mario Kart in general, like all Mario Karts across all platforms. We only got like an hour left. We can circle back to it if we run out of time. All right, pondering segment starts now.
What?
Maybe gain more.
Pondering segment. Let me type it down for the chat so I can feature it.
Chat, by the way,
Wokeness
if you
in media.
enjoy the podcast and you want to contribute, but you also don't want to spend money, throw a like on the video. It's completely free. It helps us out.
Yeah, Secret Cold Sauce is right. Not gonna lie. I like what help with the algorithm. I go a long way. Appreciate that. Alright. You know, bro. was fucking me up, bro. I'm moving way smoother now. I was wondering what the fuck was wrong with my shit. Oh my god. Alright,
This is Squall having the. How did you not think of that? That Brockstrap brought up to me. It's the B button. Just press it. It's like, do you have 1,000 tabs open? I wonder why your computer's struggling.
Golly.
Anyways, alright. So we're talking about wokeness in media. It could be any media, movies, anime, games. First thoughts on it. Hate it, love it. Is it justified in some areas, not justified in some areas? I think Hunter, you went first last time, so Brock, we can start with you.
All right. I usually enjoy how Tim Pool refers to wokeness. It's a cult-like adherence to a democratic orthodoxy. So whatever is in by those who say it's in, it gets followed. And some people on the opposite side of that political party could say the same about the other. Well, I guess wokeness is what some people refer to or think of it. What I think of it might be different than what Ninja thinks of it, is different than what Cold Sauce thinks of it, right? But I feel like it's pretty all agreed upon on things being overly, what's the right word? Represented.
Justified.
Overly represented. Like 1% of people on Earth maybe is overrepresented in every single show, every single video game, every single whatever, right? But it's just like blasting everybody in the face to where I would liken it to people in the safety orange jackets on the highway stopping traffic to bring attention to a cause. And you got to get to work in 5 minutes or your ass is fired because it's your last time. Like, you've been late to work all week, right? And you're like, you're alienating people away from your cause by blasting it in their face to the point to where they're sick of it. And it probably, like anything else they might have accepted to this point, they're like, nope, done, right? Out of here. So I know a lot of people are getting tired of it in media. Some platforms might be worse than others. I know CW does a lot of it. I think I'm not sure what program they're part of, but I know like Supergirl, right? When started out okay when it was on ABC, and then CW got a hold of it. I'm like, oh no, like I know what's gonna happen, and it happened, right? Like, they did to that show what they've done to a lot of their other superhero shows that have no reason to be in the shows at all. Like, I'm watching this for a superhero, right? Not for X, Y, and Z, whatever extra BS you want to throw in there. Same thing with video games, right? I know Dragon Age, right? BioWare has a long history of putting out good games, and I liked Anthem a lot. I never played Mass Effect, but I know it was probably received pretty well among all of its fans. Dragon Age came out and was deliberately woke. Like, it had
I think Dragon Age was the first time that you were able to hook up with like a dude.
You might have been able to.
I know you did. Accidentally did.
But I think Dragon Age, the new one, actually had like a 1 minute commercial or some kind of marketing thing to where one person was doing push-ups because he dead named somebody. And I'm like, they're doing it out of principle, and it was to make somebody feel guilty about a decision that they made. Like, if I meet somebody and I don't know what they want to go by, but they sure look like a dude, sure talk like a dude, then I'm probably going to think they're a dude. And if they want to be something different, I don't know that beforehand, I'm not going to feel guilty about anything that they want me to feel guilty about. right? That's the whole thing. Is there like it's just one whole freaking guilt trip from people that want to restructure social behavior, and it's not gonna work. I I feel like our generation's a bunch of grown-up kids that are still just kind of rebelling, right, against parents or the system or whatever. So like when
Fuck
they
the
just
oligarchy.
right when they just throw it in your face every chance they get, you're gonna like, you know what? I know you're lying to me. I know we all share the same reality, right? We go outside, the sky's probably blue unless there's overcast. The grass is probably green unless you're in a drought area or in a desert with no grass. The same shared reality that we all live in dictates that you wanting your way that is outside of reality is it's not going to mesh well with the rest. So I'm tired of that kind of guilt over something that is completely inert. It's being forced into every single aspect of media to the point to where like I don't even want to play Dragon Age because of this. And some people come with the well, it's a fantasy anyway, fantasy world, so it shouldn't even really matter. I'm like, dude, I'm freaking escaping to this fantasy world to get rid of the stuff that you're already throwing in my face anyways. Like, why put it in here? There's a reason it tanked. There's a reason Target's boycott lost it millions in freaking market share. There's reasons that Bud Light, right, lost whatever with the Bud Light boycott. People are sick of this. The money shows it. People's choices, like, going forward. I don't understand how it's not dead. I don't.
Because the people pushing it are still in power.
The people pushing it are still in power. So maybe I guess they can keep making poor choices and eventually maybe they'll get fired. I know money talks too. So like all these investors, right? Well, you're not going to get our money unless you do X, Y, Z. So this will hurt their platform, but the investors want it this way. So either they're going to lose money from the customers or they're going to lose money from the investors. I would rather have a decent, because what are people going to think of Bud Light next time they go to the store and they see it on the shelf, right? Like whatever credibility they had built up for most of their customer base is gone. So like they made the poor choice of caring what their investors think more than the customer. And now they're trying everything they can to rebuild that credibility. But man, once you break something like that, like it's really hard to bring it back. So I don't
They
know.
probably would already be out of business if it wasn't for Shane Gillis.
I don't even know if Shane brought anything back. I mean, I know it's all underneath the same parent company, Anheuser-Busch, right? Or like maybe there's one that has Anheuser
Well, they
higher
fired
than
the
them.
person in charge of.
Well, yeah,
that
they
whole-
fired the person, but I mean, at what point is the damage done already, right? Like, you just got to make good hiring practices, you know.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that everybody in this day and age has to be some kind of activist to push their own agenda at the expense of a company, right? Because it was all in that one woman that pushed out, what was it, a Dylan Mulvaney something or other that started that whole fiasco. But yeah, no, it's pushing, you know. It's funny that my target audience with the stuff that I like to push out on the internet is probably diametrically opposed to what my views actually are. But hey, I like Pokemon too, right? But at some point they had me like, all right, cool, gays getting married, whatever. Okay, cool, I guess, civil unions, whatever. It's weird, but whatever. Like, it's pushing me back to even against the things I was starting to become okay with. And yeah, whatever they're trying to do or whatever they think might be working is starting to have the opposite. And I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling that way.
Alrighty, 7 Ninja.
Well, I say this to anything that whenever I comment on something about like this woke stuff in general, or just to whenever I feel counter to something, I always say, if it's going to be, if you're going to want to change something, do not try to preach it. Do not try to change legislation or anything. If you're trying to preach something and you want it to be done right, you need to do it through changing trends, which means that whatever you're trying to sell, whatever you're trying to change, you need to make it look good into the eyes of the people. And by doing that, it will change naturally. Trying to force change in any form of way never goes well. So if you're making it happen through a natural change and we actually like what you're putting out, your ideas might be withheld within the eyes of the people. And I've always said, be the change you want to see. Don't just complain on the internet. Don't just, do whatever you can to try to force it to happen, and be that change. And I feel like in a lot of the games that games, movies, or whatever, like Brock said, like with the Dragon Veil, whatever,
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age, like you said about
Dragon
that, like
Scale.
that alone,
That's
like that
the
alone
old cartoon
will stop
on
me.
PBS, right? The two little
Yeah.
kids. going
Dragon
into
Tail. No,
Yeah.
you talking about Dragon
Oh
Tail.
no, there's
No,
a
dude, I
Dragon
used to
Tales.
watch
There's
shit out
also
of
the
Dragon
anime
Tales.
too.
Anyway,
yeah.
American Dragon.
Jake Long.
Jake Long?
right? No,
Jake Long.
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
Keep
right.
going.
No, you're good. You're good. But like again, like I seen that myself in Dragon Age, and I played Inquisition. I thought Inquisition's pretty cool. I enjoyed it a pretty good deal. But when I looked at Dragon Age, this new Dragon Age, I was like, at first I was like, maybe I get it, but then I saw that and I was like, okay, you're two in the open, and now you're doing something that, like, no average person cares about dead naming. No average person cares about trans, whatever. Like, no one
Tell me what dead naming is.
using the name of a person that previously was whatever gender they were before. They had this name, and now they become something else. And basically, you're using their old name when you're addressing the person who's supposed to be newer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's like it's in that idea. It's like,
reaction right there. That reaction. Oh my goodness. That's everybody.
That's like if I got mad at y'all for calling me Hunter. Like like if I would be sitting here going, no, call me Secret Cold Sauce because I'm a fucking loser. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, dude.
I
My
knew
bad.
the
it
term.
just it doesn't matter.
I knew the term
Go-
dead name. I didn't know they made it into a verb.
Yeah. But my thing is always going to be like, again, if you're trying to force something, it's not going to work, and it's clearly showing by in the numbers of the games that they put out, with the anything they're affecting, and it's to a point where it's like, it's one thing if it's an option. If it's an option in the game, like Skyrim, Fallout, whatever, has the ability to maybe date someone who's the same sex, or allows you to be a non-binary or whatever. If it's an option in the game, I'm not too bothered by it. But when it's one of the main things that's out there, that's when the problems start, and that's when I'm kind of just like, look, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't even care about it. So that's how I
I
feel.
don't even want it as an option. I don't.
Mhm.
It's not the mandate that's been the past millennia. Everybody can say, oh, there's been transgenderism forever. Okay, yeah, exception, not the rule. Whatever. Try with any of this new age gender fucking whatever bullshit. Try sending them on a secluded island somewhere. Come back years later, and or even 100, right?
Bro,
Nothing.
they wouldn't even make it to the
Nothing will be there. Nothing. They won't have the, like, there's only one combination of the two people being together that will ever continue life creation or otherwise going forward, period. Like, if you like what you like, whatever, but like, don't try to think you can change, because like, obviously there's the reality we live in. 1 + 1 makes 1 going forward, and there's only one combination that can make that happen. That's the reality. That's how it all keeps going forward. So like, I don't want anything that could confuse anybody, because like that's what all this is turning into, is confusion as well. But like, I if I get any whiff of anything, period, from any, like they're just not getting my cash. Like I'm turning into that person. And that's because that's what they're doing on that side. You're absolutely right. When they try to fucking force stuff, I don't even want them to subtly do it too. Stuff that's on the TV that parents aren't on the lookout for, like that stuff is shaping our next generation as well. They're going to grow up confused. They're going to grow up not understanding what reality actually is. And part of this, you know, we're already at a birth rate deficiency, right? We're at like a 1.6. We need to be up here to continue things going forward, and we're not hitting that. And even with the people that are hitting that, like their kids they're checked out as parents too, and their kids are watching whatever the people in power want their kids to be watching too. So like, it's a battle. It's a struggle for people that don't want to have and watch and see it, and it's a struggle for people putting a tablet in front of their kids, putting a TV on, whatever. Like, it's a struggle for them too. Like, I'm almost thinking of going cold turkey, just no tech at all, right? Just like the new Buzz Lightyear, right? Everybody probably has strong nostalgic like memories of Toy Story. Oh, Toy Story was okay, you know. They had that one toy that was like a hooker, right, with the sexy legs and the fishing pole or whatever. Stuff kids wouldn't get. Kind of funny for the parents. But like now, you know, the Buzz Lightyear, like it was based off of a story that everybody our age now having kids was okay, like watching. We think, oh, nothing's wrong with this, and then they put the two chicks kissing at some point in the Buzz Lightyear newer movie, like. That's something my kid, who's 7, who's starting to question everything, doesn't need to be concerned with right now, and come and ask me about it, right? Like, that's Disney. Not that they've always been like the pinnacle of freaking, you know, high morality or whatever. But sorry, keep going. I just had to point that out.
No, that's
you good
shit. That's real shit.
Yeah. Any time I catch a whiff, just done. Nope. Off my radar. See ya.
Cold sauce. I need you to eat your mic when you tell us this.
All right. Well, I mean, I know y'all are probably expecting a loud, angry cold sauce rant at this, but it's
Something wild.
the thing is, this woke culture has become so exhausting that I can't even get like that anymore with it. A few some points that I want to make. First of all, if it's just done naturally in things like media, like some of the characters might be gay. Like, for example, in the show Invincible, his buddy, the blonde-haired dude, was gay. Yeah, and it never felt like forced upon you. It never felt like, oh, if you don't accept him, you're wrong. You know, it's just, he was a character and he was a gay character, and that's fine. There was nothing wrong with all that. But it's never okay to try to force other people to go along with your agenda. It's not okay to force yourself upon people. People go to jail for that. I know. I was in prison for 3 years. I met a lot of people that force themselves upon people. Nobody likes it, no matter where you are. Okay? No matter what instance you or example of it you want. Okay? And as much as I hate how woke everything has gotten lately, because it's every fucking where. It's in the video games, it's in the movies, it's on the news, it's on the TV shows, it's everything. Nothing feels authentic. Most of 90% of the woke agenda stuff is not authentic. Most of these people are forcing themselves to pretend to feel this way because they don't want to get fucking shunned or judged or fucking pointed at with shame by motherfuckers they don't even know. So it's just so fucking aggravating and stupid. But as much as I hate it and we all hate it, I'm also actually, this is gonna surprise y'all, I'm actually very thankful that it's gotten this far out of hand, because most people are stupid. 9 times out of 10, when a governing body, an authoritative figure, an idol tells a huge group of people, do this, 9 out of 10 motherfuckers are just gonna blindly and stupidly start doing that, because most people don't know how to think for themselves. They can't, not just don't know how, they don't have the ability to think for themselves. However, this shit has been shoved down our throat for so fucking long, like a big raging gay dick, just fucking forced into us, that now it's gotten to a point where nothing feels natural. And like Brockstrap was saying earlier, the reality is natural. So when everyone's feeling unnatural, they're gonna start questioning what the fuck is going on. Well, like, something needs to be fixed because nothing feels right. And that's exactly what I've been seeing more and more in the last like 3 or 4 years throughout. And I also want to say, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, I really don't think that most people are like radical and woke like you might believe if you just immerse your entire life in media, on screens and shit. Most people are like, have a brain and, you know, see things and go, that's, you know, you, even if you're fighting for a good cause, you're still doing it in like a wrong way, you know, which an example Brockstrap brought up earlier, people blocking the highways. That was, I remember I first started working. I just dropped out of high school and started working construction and shit like that, blue collar work. Whenever people started doing that, and that was when I started losing faith in humanity, because I saw that not because like, oh, these people are doing this crazy stuff for this cause. That wasn't why I lost my faith in humanity. I lost faith in humanity at that point because why the fuck are these cars stopping? These are people. These are human fucking beings. Run them the fuck over. Your car's not gonna, it's not a brick wall. You're not gonna even get damage. They're not even as big as a fucking deer. You might hit a deer too hard and like damage your car. No, you're gonna get like maybe a dent, big fucking whoop. Run them morons over. They're in the middle of the fucking highway.
And this
I
is
think
where
that
the law
happens
kind
somewhere.
of gets in the way too, because the law will come after you for manslaughter. It'll like people will lose. People.
How are they
will
gonna
either
get
be-
you? Somebody
people
would
will
have
be
to
either
see it
annoyed-
and call the cops, and then the cops
Oh,
would
dude.
have to go there. Fuck all that. I'm already
Every-
fucking miles away by that time. Hit them motherfuckers. But no,
I
and it,
understand.
actually,
That's the cold sauce we know.
I feel like maybe this might not be the best analogy, but I'm sure y'all are gonna be able to understand what I'm trying to say. And the woke ideology, okay, not the agenda, not the woke virus that's been
Which one?
fucking implanting in us, but the woke
Which one
ideology.
specifically?
The woke ideology, okay, when it's represented, just think of gay dudes. For the most part, if you know a gay dude who's just a dude who happens to be gay, it's a pretty cool dude. But then you got these angry gays that's all in your face about it and flamboyant, and they mad at the fucking world because they're gay. Well, the woke ideologies and the people that are pushing it, that's the two separate ways that they do it. There's a chill way to do it where people go, yeah, man, I don't have a problem with that. And then there's a way where you're attacking everyone because they don't agree with you. And obviously, when you attack someone, they're going to push back. it's going to be met with an attack back. It's Newton's first law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That's why Malcolm X failed and Martin Luther King succeeded. You can't go about it in the wrong way. You can't force people to do what you want them to. You can make them understand that this is better if it is. And if it is better and you bring that to light, people will understand, because what's better is better, period. So I believe that's about all I have to say about it, to be honest.
Might
Before we
on
go
that.
on the squalls, can we just talk a second about why is it every gay parade that's out there, they look like they're dressed in the most derogatory, most diabolical way they could possibly dress? They're not just regular people walking around with maybe their gay shirts on. They're literally just walking around and probably the most BDSM, I saw one guy with like a dog head on his head. Like, they don't look like normal people. They don't look like they're supposed to be there. And it's like, you're telling me like, hey, you should support what I'm doing, but why do you look like this? Why do you look like something I wouldn't want my child around? And why are there children there?
Because some parents are okay with that. It's all fetish garbage. It's some parents that think they're accepting, and it's almost man chosen by proxy, right? Like, look at how highly I am accepting. Look at how keep me on a pedestal for being one of the people that is indulging you, enabling you in your fetish out in public, right? And teaching their kids to be accepting of everybody. That's fine. Like, accept some stuff, right? But not like a freaking I almost want to say death cult. Like, you have the surgery, you're no longer able to procreate. You're no longer able to procreate. So how do you keep the ideology going? You can't put it on your kids because you can no longer have kids. So what's the next step? It's cult-like adherence, right? Oh, you're not affirming your kids' confusion. Here, let the state take care of them. They isolate kids away from it, and this is what's happening. They're trying to legislate, I think, in Colorado, I think in Seattle, I think in Oregon, I think in California. There's probably more. But the state has laws written now to like usurp the kids from their parents if the affirmation isn't met. And so
that's already a law.
You isolate and you alienate them from their family. You pull them into an ideology, and they hold you at a place in religion because there's it's self above all else. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that's the case for every single person out there that wants to put themselves and Cold Sauce, you said not legislating, right? Or not forcing your will imposed upon others. I don't quite agree with that either. Because like if we go that route, you see a kid just getting wailed on by a parent out in public, right? Like, maybe the kid deserved it, maybe not. I can't think that the parent wailing on the kid probably is warranted out in public. But like, all right, you're gonna just like let it happen, or are you gonna step in, or you there's moral dilemmas, and there's situations that shouldn't just be allowed to happen. So like, I can't think that we can't create rules around degeneracy, because that's what I view it as, is degeneracy. Like, just like he was saying, Ninja was saying earlier with the parades, people in their fetish style like clothing, right, out on display. X is wild. I wish it. I'm happy it doesn't moderate content quite like it used to, because I've seen things I didn't want to see, like with the Israel Hamas stuff coming out. Like, there were wild videos on that. With the I think it was some kind of pride parade over in California. I saw one dude peeing into two other dudes' mouths. Like, not stuff I want to see.
No.
It's annoying, and it's not stuff I should see, dude. But like, it's showing you the degeneracy that actually happens. It's showing you how wild it's getting. Like, I hate that evil is out there on display, but at the same time, it's good because we can recognize what it is, and that's not anything anybody needs to be seeing out in public. Period. So, like, to say not to impose a rule set on certain behaviors or to go out and write some kind of legislation, I can't agree that like we shouldn't do that. It's got to be at some moral higher morality. It can't just be, hey, everybody loves each other into the ground and we all died because we focused on nothing else but being accepting, right? A fake, it's something that Crowder says all the time. I'm gonna misquote it here, but it's like fake sympathy or empathy or whatever creates real victims, and we're creating a lot of real victims right now, and they don't even know they're victims. Go ahead, I saw somebody with the fire.
That was me. That was me. Another reason that a lot of this is, like you were saying earlier, destined to fail is the sheer hypocrisy of the entire movement, in that the whole thing, the whole broad reason behind it all is supposed to be for inclusivity. They're supposed to be preaching to be included, right? But at the same time, they're going about it in a way where they're trying to make it to where this is the only right way. Your way is wrong and our way is right. Well, that's not being inclusive. That's being controlling. You're not allowing us to be ourselves, but you're telling us to allow you to be yourselves. Well, that's not fair. So why the fuck would I agree with you? Even if I did agree with you, now you're
They don't
trying
even agree
to,
with each other.
if you're trying, exactly, and that's the whole. All of it is hypocritical.
When I was
And that's-
asking you earlier which one, I'm like, seriously, I don't know which one, because there's internal fighting over there too. You got the gays versus groomers, right? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say all these things. Whatever. I'm sorry, Squall. But like, you have that. Like, there's infighting. There's people trying. There's like what 2S LGBTQIA plus or whatever garbage. That plus,
well,
can
that's the point
bring
that I was
on
making
any
earlier.
literal group that wants to attach themselves to a movement that a lot of the other starting founder groups like this probably aren't even going to be okay with.
Well, that's the point that I was making earlier, is that you fuck, I didn't forgot it. Son of a
I'm sorry.
bitch. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I used to think. You're like enlightened. They pissed off the whole country. They got Japanese like legislators, like political figures that are angry about it. And how many gamers are in Japan, by the way? You know, you pissed off all of Japan with this game. How much money did you lose on that? It's even more woke than that. I heard. Yeah, doing African culture.
Oh, we're talking about race swaps. Yeah, I hate those too. They're terrible.
I don't,
Well,
I don't know
hate those
if
little
I
questions.
don't know how I feel about Ninja not liking race swaps because we don't really know what race Ninja is. I'm convinced he's Indian. He's a computer whiz. He's I mean he seems
I'm
Indian to
anything
me.
I want to be at any moment in time.
I could see him
Yeah.
being black.
He's a ninja. He's the color ninja.
But even with the Black Assassin's Creed thing, we already had one. Like Origins by Ekasiwa, he was Egyptian. Like
Oh yeah, the
black
Egyptian one. Yeah.
So like I
No,
mean,
and even Black
even-
Flag could have been a black guy.
Flag. Yeah, you had
Plenty-
Adwale
plenty
or whatever,
pirate.
the first mate. He
Even
had his
famous
own
pirate.
DLC and everything. Like it's
What?
not that there wasn't there already. Or even the main gal with the new ones, what's her name? She's
Noe?
some kind of Layla, whatever. I think she's some kind of like Middle Eastern, Afghan, something or other.
I think right. No, but their thing is that they have to put it in everything that they do. They have to shove it down your throat. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, why I'm thankful that it got so out of hand, because they've shoved it down our throats for so long, and there's so many differing we have to be like this, we have to be like this. And then there's also, everyone naturally has a moral sense of right and wrong, and what Brockstrap was saying earlier, people within the woke cause have begun turning on each other because y'all started out like this, but now we're doing things that are just blatantly wrong and blatantly negative and evil. And so that's, like I said, I am thankful that it got out of hand because it's starting to fix itself. People are waking up and realizing, and we're all talking about it. And I mean, the internet is the world's newest Pandora's box. For the first couple decades of it, it's been a lot of chaos, and all of humanity has been just spiraling out of control since the internet came about. But now, because of the internet, we're all able to communicate worldwide instantly. So we're all talking a lot more. We're sharing information a lot more. We're looking at things from a much more detailed possible perspective, and we're all able to see together the lies we're being told, the corruption that are going on. And so we're evolving as a species right now intellectually, and a lot of this woke agenda is inadvertently the cause of a lot of that.
Are you sure we're evolving intellectually?
Absolutely, we are.
I saw a woman say that she got a nose job because she wanted her children to have smaller noses, and I'm like, those are the people
What?
that we are. Those are the people we argue with online, and that's not intellectually evolved.
No, what you say? Yeah. What did you say earlier? That's
Rock.
the exception, not the rule. I mean, come on. If you want to talk about dumb people, there was a guy that felt like he should have been born crippled, so he fucking cut off his own legs. And there was another guy that felt like he should have been born blind, so he blinded himself with fucking chemicals. Like, of course you're gonna have insanely stupid stuff going on, no matter what point of history you look at. But
I have two things.
going.
I have two things to say, and then I'll be done on this topic. One, it seems like it's on one political side that a lot of this is being deemed okay and acceptable as some sort of standard. It's not. I'm not going to reveal who it is because I don't want her to whatever. But they've voted that political party their whole life, and I brought this up to them, and they're like, "I know, Brock. I know." They know the craziness of a lot of that, which is tied directly to that side of the political party, and they know it's insane. And this is a smart person, but that's not the whole party. So I understand that you can be okay with what you might deem insane and still think that you're on the right, and that's fine, whatever. And I also know I've been harsh on this topic, and I'm never going to change that. I understand that within this community there's plenty of cool people. There is. My cousin's one of them. I can't imagine he would harm a fly. He's a cool guy, right? Other people I work with are like, I have 3 lesbians I work with, I think. They're all great people, right? They are. I like every single one of them. So individually, I'm sure there's a lot of great people out there, but there is an insanity that is coming along with this lifestyle they've chosen to go with, that again, isn't even part of the equation if you want to continue human life. So as harsh as I am, I'm sorry to people who feel like I'm an ass. Again, I know there's great people, but it's reality. It's a self. It's gonna be a death cult because there's no life at the end of that.
Nah, man, bitches ain't shit but hoes with tricks.
A phrase I've heard many times, and while I don't think it's always true, it can be true in some cases, is sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. And this looks like one of those situations where it has gotten worse, and it might have to get a little bit worse, but it's going to get better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I think it's already on the way to getting better. You see more and more with the younger generations, the kids fresh out of high school, the kids still in high school. A lot of them are making fun of the left and the wokeness because it's just so ridiculous at this point. It doesn't make any sense, and the whole thing is weird. Everything they do is weird, and it's also weak and pathetic, all of it. Just the people that are doing it, every part of it it's just not what people want to be because it's not natural. So it's, and kind of getting back to race swapping, one of the things that I remember thinking, and like, full disclosure, I'm Cajun. I'm like mostly white, so you could just call me a white guy. But when I remember like seeing characters getting race swapped and everything, One of the thoughts that I had a lot of
I
the
don't know
times
there's-
was when they would like when they did the Little Mermaid, or when they were talking about changing James Bond into a black guy. I remember thinking, how do black people really feel about that? Because basically what you're saying, the people in charge of making these decisions to change the race of this character to a black person, what you're telling black people is that black people can't be cool enough to have their own original black character that can become as cool as James Bond or the Little Mermaid. You know what I'm saying? And that's so not true. Most of my favorite athletes are black. You know, like that might be not be the best example, but okay, here's a good example.
Wasn't
When
aware
I
there
was-
was any white athletes left.
Yeah, no, but not too many people.
crazy.
Not too many people going, Larry Bird was better than Michael Jordan, but
He
no,
walked into that on his own.
no. But here is a good example. When I was a little kid, before my parents got divorced and shit, when I was a little kid, when none of this other stuff mattered, when the other black kids I was in school with weren't mad at me because I'm white, and so that means that my great great grandpa did something to their great great grandpa. Before all of that, one of my favorite things to do after school was put it on Kids WB and watch Static Shock. That was the coolest fucking superhero show. Man, I fucking love that fucking show.
Me too.
And also, you know, whenever like the Avengers cartoon first started coming out on Disney XD, dude, instantly Black Panther became my favorite Avenger. That dude was fucking badass. That dude was awesome. And then the Avengers movie started coming out, and then the Black Panther movie came out, and black people just took it all away from it. I couldn't even enjoy the movie because the whole thing became hate white people. It wasn't even this is a cool black character. It was fuck white people. And it just turned me off to all of it at that point. So I went back to I went back to fucking Captain America after that. It's
I still
toxic.
fuck with Black Panther.
It's toxic, and it's hurtful to people, you know, and this is coming from the party that is supposed to be preaching inclusivity. And like I said, it's hypocritical because you're not being inclusive. You're forcing yourself on the people. You're telling people that they're wrong for being themselves. How is that inclusive at all? You know?
No, that's what I was saying earlier. Fake sympathy creates real victims. Like the people that are sick of the wokeness are gonna lash out at people that probably don't deserve it. And that's the thing. You're almost harming your own cause by doing these things. Coolest character design on the anime we watched, Super Cube.
Oh, y'all know mine. Right. Well, y'all know y'all can find me on TikTok at Hunter on Tick. You won't be able to find any of my comments because it don't matter what I type at this point. Every one of them gets taken off. This is the moment I hit it. But let's see. My favorite part of the podcast tonight was the first part of it. I don't even remember what we was talking about, but the anime. Yeah, that was definitely the funnest part of it. And I don't have any shout outs, but definitely if you're not already following Squall on Rumble, go ahead and do that. It doesn't take a whole 10 minutes. It's not gonna cost you any money. Go do it. Support the channel, especially if you like us and you watch us. It's completely free. It doesn't take a long time to do. It's not complicated. You're not stupid, so
Drop a little cash anyway.
yeah, go buy Squall a coffee, man. He's got a caffeine addiction. He has to stay up late and manage like 7 Discord servers and fucking. But yeah. So the coolest character design, man. Come on, it's the Wolf Girl. Stop it. I don't even know why this is a question. And then
All right.
y'all know you can find
It's
him
7
on
Ninja 7.
and Rumble.
No, that Rumble. It's Rumble. And yeah, you can find me in Game Joe and MeWe. Again, we're probably doing more anime reviews and stuff right now until I can get something new for streaming. And I gotta remind you guys, Cold Sauce and Squall, but Rock, I need you to check this out. And everyone who's watching, go check out Chili XD's last cookout where you will see 7 Ninja, 7, the man, playing the thing, being the brick wall that held it all together,
MVP,
carrying
the best
everyone.
Marvel ever.
I didn't lose until the last 3 matches of the whole thing. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, yeah, outside of that, Squall, what's the next anime we're gonna watch? If we don't know that, I'll figure something out. Anyway, Rock, strap.
Dude, yeah, definitely go check out Chili's last stream that we did last night because, dude, I had as much fun playing that stream as I did. The last time I had that much fun playing a video game was in 2008 playing Halo 3 with my friends. Like, that shit was just one of the best nights I've had all year. And we're halfway through the fucking year.
Almost.
Yeah. In fact, Ninja, I'll be honest with you. The only reason that you started losing was because I forgot what I was doing and I kept attacking the enemies instead of healing you. And once Squall called me out on it, we started winning again because I started healing you again. And that's all it fucking took. As long as you keep Ninja alive, you will win. Period.
Rockstar 55, I guess I had kind of a rather interesting take on things tonight. I'm sorry if I got Squall like banned from anything. I'm sure. Hopefully we'll keep continuing to do Pokemon stuff together, as that's what I do mostly. Come check us out over here, Rockstrap 55. Up to 100 followers. Thank you everybody on the help along the way. I've been riding on Squall's coat. I've been riding on Squall's coattails for like the past year and a half. So thanks to him so much in many ways. And yeah, hopefully we can keep pushing these out. My favorite. Did you Ninja? Did you give the favorite character design?
Oh, favorite character design is going to be the cube.
The cube. There you go.
That's actually
All
it's a good one. I like
all
it.
6 sides, right?
Yeah,
I like this guy a lot. I did. I thought he was kind of cool and douchey, and then like I enjoyed the whole like 180 once he realized how strong that Xiaozhu was. So that was kind of neat. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming in, and go ahead and give me a follow too if you like. I try to do interesting stuff, always authentic, even if it costs me followers.
Later,
So-
bitches.